We don't need that now. It took too long. I was getting ready to do it. It wasted my time. Never mind. We here.
He stopped it and just said, "Look, it's taking too long.
It's taking too long. I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough. We just need to go on and do what we're doing. Yeah. We got stuff to do. I don't know why that.
Ooh,
the phone picked it up too. What's up, y'all? This is a Good Samaritan show. I got my people on here. More people coming. They taking their sweet time. That's all right. Let them go ahead and do that. We have a good time. Brother Avery, Brother Scott, Brother Tracy, Sister Tracy. Y'all doing all right?
Doing good.
Blessed and highly favored.
Oh, God.
I'm just trying not to lose my mind.
I don't know about tonight, Doc. You might lose on some of the stuff we talking about.
Oh,
tonight.
Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
So, hey, what's up, daughter? She's on here now. And you on YouTube. You're not on Facebook. Okay, cool. All right. Good to see y'all, man. How y'all been? I can't believe these 7 days go by so fast, y'all. Like,
for real.
Just looked up and it was Tuesday night. I'm like,
it's been a week, man.
I love it. It's been a week.
Ooh, I tell you, it's been a week.
My week started crazy.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been some stuff going on. Tracy, how you doing?
I'm okay. Life is life, and my car gave out on me on the road.
Ooh.
Right, with my gear in the car. Yeah, called my husband. Wow. He rode past me.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So he had to go back and get back on to come back and get back on again?
I said, "Where are you?" Well, I'm headed such and such. I was like, then you had to pass me. I never saw you.
He said, "Yeah, I didn't feel like feeling that today, so I'm just gonna go back." That's best. I ain't want to deal with that right now. I just want to go back.
That ain't what the Lord is calling for these last and evil days.
I went to the gas station. I'll be back. Just sit tight. Yeah, I had a good week, man. We did a show in New Orleans that I will never forget, bro. Golly, I'm still
New Orleans is that place, bro.
Man,
there's a different energy in New Orleans.
That's Frankie Beverly territory right there. That's Frankie Beverly territory.
Wow.
Hey, Mr. Hi. How are y'all?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Went on and yeah, man, it was one of the best shows. I promise you that show was just unbelievable. And then came home and got situated and tried to finish out life through the week. Siobhan said hi this time.
Hi, Siobhan.
So we
well, last week we had multiple funerals. I was telling people from last Sunday to Saturday, I did 7 funerals, 6 of the people I knew. It was just, last week was rough. And so when I sat down on this couch on Sunday after church, I woke up, I sat down, it was probably about 2:00. I woke up at 7:30. Yeah, and I was wiped out Monday. I just stayed in the house. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Only thing I did, Avery, I went to Hot Grill Monday night.
See,
yeah,
that place is a refuge right there, boy.
Hot Grill is always in order, brother. Always.
What is that?
It's a hot dog burger spot.
Hot dog place.
Yeah,
that sounds all right.
Oh yes, it is definitely.
Let me tell you something.
2 all the way onions, well done with a fry with cheese and gravy.
There y'all go. As for me, I get the cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah,
oh, bro, come on, man.
Absolutely,
the cheeseburgers are good.
Yo, you know what was real good that I had for the first time when I got there? Onion rings. Them things are.
Oh my God, them things off the chain, bro.
Oh my God,
everybody says that. I gotta be in the mood for onion rings.
They are heavenly, bro.
The onion rings between Getty Grill and White Castle, they was running neck and neck, bro. Like for real, I can't even eat White Castle.
White Castle, my lord.
Yeah, I can't do it no more. I feel like somebody took 2 handfuls of sand and just stuffed them up my nose after.
Nice.
I can't do them.
Well, as for me at my house,
We will eat White Castle.
that was the first place I went at right before I went to the airport.
That's it.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? It was cool, but it wasn't until we went inside one day and I said it was onions all over the place. I'm talking about all. I was like,
see, and then the onions they gotta be like extra cooked, so you can't get them like fresh. Yeah,
don't give me raw.
But it was onions everywhere. I mean, when I tell you everywhere, it was onions. I said this place, and I love onions. Let me be clear. But it was just giving. I don't ever want to eat this again.
It's called blessings on top of blessings.
No.
I'll tell you what, it's a blessing that keep on giving because after you eat them,
I'm trying to tell you, that's the whole point of White Castle.
That's the crazy part, though. I don't have that problem with White Castle.
If they put extra onions on it, I do. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't get onions on my order. Literally takes 5 hours for them to make because they got to pull all them onions off of.
I know that's right.
I can't do it.
They gotta make you fresh square.
Fresh stuff, yeah.
But when they listen, hold on, Scott, hold on, Avery. But when you get it after it's been sitting in the carton for a little while,
oh God,
and then you take the cheese is stuck to the
oh yes.
See what I do now too? I put some French fries on that burger now and make it an Italian burger. Oh Father God, have you speaking in tongues? I'm trying
to be unsafe.
I used to get mad. Because Kevin would want to get like a double, and I'm like, double what? But they are so thin. I guess I really shouldn't.
I eat 6 doubles.
You gotta have doubles.
That's like 15 burgers right there.
I'm trying to tell you. I eat 6
them little burgers
with a large fry, and I can't do none of that no more.
And I don't want anybody in my ATL family to sit there and tell me that is just
Crystals
like
is better.
Crystals.
It's not.
First of all, I want y'all to drown in alcohol. That's a lie.
Right.
You want to be so mean?
That's a lie.
No, I want you to kick rocks and then drunk in alcohol.
That is blasphemous. I'm trying to tell you.
Crystals are not the same.
They're right outside the hot Vegas rocks. They're right. Kick those
with open wounds. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
that's so crazy.
Burn you good. Yes.
No. Crystals is not the same. Rally is not the same.
Oh my God, this stuff is horrible.
But Rally's fries is good though. I haven't had Rally's in like 20 years. But
yes.
I don't do Rally. I don't do Checkers. I don't do none of them.
Sorry.
I've never seen a Checkers.
Checkers used to be good. I can't do that no more.
Yeah.
It's a grease pit.
You might as well just go and take a bottle of Crisco and turn it up.
That's nasty.
All it is. So.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when you do all of these burger spots, like when you start looking at they did a rating, like who has the freshest burgers. White Castle has the freshest burgers.
Out of all of them. That's
and then Sonic is next.
Yeah.
Sonic is just too expensive for no reason.
Was it just those two in the rating?
No. Because it went down, and then Wendy's was next. McDonald's was like at the bottom.
McDonald's is not real burgers.
You're right.
But
McDonald's
I'm sorry. Give me
this.
a good Sonic burger because I know they're putting it on the grill.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a fresh burger.
Absolutely.
I am appalled by this conversation.
Yolanda Moran.
Hello.
Hi.
It's another guest we got, y'all. They have a show that comes on during the day. Yolanda, what is it called?
Oh, it's on Freedom Radio. It's called Shop Talk.
Freedom, okay. It's called Shop Talk on Freedom Radio. And Demetrius Tollfree and all of them from Oakland are on there. And they've been promising me that they were going to bring me on there. I ain't been on there yet.
Oh, but, well, it's a done deal. We know you're busy.
I ain't that busy if I'm watching the show. I got time. I'll be right there. All right. Good to have you, Yolanda. Good to have you. Demetrius told me to hit him up, so
did you warn Yolanda?
Did you,
ma'am?
I didn't know, but he'll be on here. So, but she knows who Brent Brown is.
Oh, okay.
She knows who Brent is. She knows. So once she sees him, she'll be fine. What just happened? Who just went off? Scott.
He said he's having audio issues.
Oh, so but he'll be back. What are we looking at here? Yolanda, it's good to have you on here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah. We're
glad to
having
be
a
a
good.
part of the conversation.
Hey, Tanya, did you
Yes.
get your mic yet?
No, yeah, and you ain't gotta say it on the mic. Start asking about the mic. Okay, for now we're using
that-
this. Okay.
My bro got you. He got it. It's coming.
Yeah, it's all right. Shit,
They
hey,
don't
let
need
me be
to tell
clear.
me.
Mine don't work. I gotta get one too. Mine acting like you don't want to be part of this equation. I don't know what that's about. You know,
I
why
don't
are you
want
even
that
over
one.
here? I don't even know why it's over here. I don't even need it.
That's hilarious.
It was it, you know. All right, y'all. So let's get started with some of these questions. Yolanda, this is a very
Yeah.
open forum.
Okay.
We're very yeah. You stay on late enough. Yeah. But we're
Brent
talking
didn't
about
come on
real
yet?
issues. No, Brent ain't on yet. He I think he'll be up. He'll be up here in a minute. But I think Yolanda will enjoy Brent. I think she
Life of the party.
Really?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's start off with this. I talked about this earlier. It's called Dummy of the Day. Let me tell y'all, it's on Instagram.
Please don't tell me the guy in the courtroom. Oh my God.
You said dummy of the
Let me
day.
go.
Dummy
Let me go ahead and
of
tell
the
you.
day.
So the man was in his car on a Zoom call with a judge, a whole court case in his car. Judge looked at the screen and said, "Are you driving?" He said, "Yes, I am. I'm pulling into a parking lot right now. I am driving." He said, "Are you really driving?" He said, "Yeah." The case was him driving with a suspended license.
Oh.
So he's driving in the car, going to a parking lot to park the car to be in court for driving with a suspended license behind the steering wheel.
Felt like Kevin Hart with the mic.
Right. And the judge said, "Well, what is he in for?" And they said, "Well, this is a case pending, from him dealing with a suspended license." The judge immediately said, "Nope, no bond. If he doesn't turn himself in by 6 o'clock today, we got a bench warrant out for him with no bond." So this dude
And he
ended up going to
forfeited
school.
all the money that he put up.
All the money he put up, and then on top of that, what I couldn't understand was you're on a Zoom call, they could see you, and you're literally behind the steering wheel driving a car in which your license is suspended, and the case that you're dealing with is because of your suspended license.
I will tell you the funniest part for me. The funniest part was the end of that clip where he said, "Oh
my God!" Yeah, he said,
like, are you surprised?"
He said, "Oh my God!" I was literally sitting there like, "What were you expecting, bro? Like, there was nothing good to come of this. I don't know what you were thinking, but okay."
Nothing.
So I wish him the best. I don't know where he at. He might still be in jail by now.
Oh, he gonna be locked up for a
I'm
minute.
sure he locked up somewhere.
He looked a little touched. He did look a little touched.
Yeah.
Well, he gonna get touched, all right.
Yeah.
He gonna get touched tonight.
Right.
Help him, Lord. Help him, Lord.
Yeah, and not by an angel.
Right.
Right.
It might be somebody named Angel.
It's gonna be somebody that. So yeah, he gonna get it. Next form of programming here. All right, well, Scott, here we go. All right.
Uh-oh. No.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
No.
Here it comes.
It's too
No.
early to start trouble, bro.
No,
No.
I'm good. I'm not starting no trouble. I'm good.
No.
It's grown people talking, man.
It ain't even been 30 minutes yet.
Ain't even been 20 minutes.
We started a little late, so I'm gonna just hit it right.
Do your thing, bro. Go ahead.
Oh God.
Women,
Lord.
are you gonna wear it if your husband or boyfriend says not to?
Repeat, am I gonna work? if he
You
says
know, are
not
you,
to.
no. Are you going to wear it? In other words, if you wear an outfit that your husband or boyfriend decides is too revealing, or they don't like it, or it's giving away too much, what is your stance? Are you going to not wear it, or are you going to tell him, I'm going to wear it? So that's what we want to know. Yolanda, you started talking. You might as well go ahead first.
I don't do well with these kind of questions. I'm always the devil's advocate. I mean, not in real life. I'm not his friend, but I think it's sticky. If you're my okay, why don't you want me to wear it? See, I'm a creative. I don't give straight answers.
It's because it's too
So,
to him it's too revealing. Like it's just revealing too much. On his behalf, he's thinking that it's too much.
well, if you probably feel like that, then it may be. If you're my boyfriend, I may do it for the sake of killing it. You know, like we going out the door. It's we can talk about it more later. You're my husband. I may be more flexible if you're my husband, kind of thing. But if it's all the time, okay, then maybe we have a different kind of conversation. Because I'm not like, ooh, let's reveal it kind of girl. So you know, why if we keep having a conversation about that, or it's a problem, we need to sit down and have a conversation.
I like that answer. Okay. First of all, Kevin, he went from this to
Well, I'm a musician, right? So there was a song in my spirit every time I saw all of those comments in that chat, and the song goes like this: "Why you always lying? Ooh, oh my God!
oh my God!
Ooh, oh my God! Yo, I saw so many women sitting there talking about, "Oh, I will stop." Now you lying, bro. Stop. I don't believe it. Not all of them.
I had one that responded to me because I was sharing ladies before. I put this on my Instagram story when Kevin posted. I was like, well, let's open up another box here. Let's open up Pandora's box on Instagram. And so I put it up there, and the one was like, it's my money. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. And I'm thinking, you're married and you're saying that? And I was like, so my response was, would the same response be okay if the shoe were on the other foot?
Right.
And she was like, absolutely, it would be. I was like, that's kind of hard for me to believe, just knowing who she is. I'm like, that's kind of hard for me to believe, knowing how strong of a person you are and how forceful you can be with your responses to stuff. I just can't see that being the reality of it all. So I feel like Avery, like, why you always lying? Who you trying to fuck?
Always lying, right? Ooh, oh my God!
Right.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
I've been lying.
I will say this. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was gonna.
I agree that. Well, let me just say this. I agree with Yolanda, but let me explain. So I'm not a person who hush, Avery.
I didn't say nothing. I looked at Kevin's face. I want to listen to this.
Hey man, I had something in my eye. That's all good.
This is dangerous, by the way. Let me use my mic. So
JC, what's up, brother?
Just that.
Praise the Lord. I'm sorry for my delay. I'm on daddy duty and pastor duty and everything, so I'm just juggling so much.
Play.
Daddy on the right, pastor on the left.
Listen,
co-hosting in the front.
You gonna double cross?
But I couldn't miss
the
the
devil ain't behind you. You all right?
Oh, you right on time, brother. You are right on time because Evangelist over here is gonna let us know her point. Go ahead.
You know
Are we creative? We creatively creating stuff? What are we?
I don't want to answer the question. I mean,
you started. So you gotta answer.
Okay, so
this is Yolanda's fault, by the way. This is Yolanda's fault. Go ahead.
So, honestly,
Hi, Yolanda.
Hi.
I am. How can I explain this? I'm not a person who reveals everything. Like that's not my thing, right? That's not my thing. But I can get my glasses on. Who just nodded their head? I can't see. Anyway,
we all ears.
Okay. So, but when I go out with my girls, we may do brunch, so it might be, a one shoulder thing or something, right? And so I had to learn. Let me explain. I had to learn. I had to bring myself to submission when there were times when my partner did not want me to wear certain things. Now, guess what? Evolution has happened. I've evolved, okay? And so now I ask, like, hey, how do you feel about X, Y, and Z? But let me explain my issue, because sometimes people are okay with you doing it. Sometimes, and sometimes people ain't okay that you doing it. So I get confused. I want to follow the direction. Avery, I don't like it.
No,
What
I
I'm
go.
looking
I get that though. I get what you're saying though. You're right.
I'm
But some people
listening.
are
So I be
both sides of the
teeter-tottering,
fence.
like,
Right.
yes, I'm like, which is it? Is it non-clothes? I mean, in clothes, or is it no clothes and no clothes? I'm just playing. No, it's not like that. I'm not wearing no clothes. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm just saying. But you know what? I can't stand Kevin. You need to go on. You need to go on. You need to turn the thing.
I
Don't
promise I
worry.
didn't do
Yo,
anything.
we in the same
No,
boat, bro.
I was fixing my
Yo,
ear.
she needs somebody to blame. She blaming me and you, bro. It's
No, Kevin's ear ain't never itched like that.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
I need a Q-tip.
No. Well, go get one.
Tracy, we're gonna let you talk.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It depends on my mood, and that's just the truth. If I'm being honest, if I know that it's something that's not too bad, but he's just being picky, I'll say, you know what? I think you're just being picky about this. Because again, like Miss Tanya, I'm not gonna wear anything that's very revealing. I'm not gonna do that. But it just depends on my mood. I have got ready to leave, and he says, those pants are tight. And I say, you know what? Okay, I can change them. To see if he says, okay, no, they're fine, or if he says, okay, change them, and let's come back and try it again.
I like the because Kevin's is like it's not even a it's like deep and I'm like, oh, it's just I don't even ask, I just go change.
See, this is the thing, and I've actually had this issue.
I'll be right back.
before. I feel like your mate should know you. What's good and what's not good to wear. I don't have that problem with my wife because she knows my heart. Now, like Scott said earlier, what if it was roles in reverse and I just came out and I got on skinny jeans and I got all my stuff just showing, and that would be embarrassing to her. So my thing is, why would women sit there and want to wear something? And I even when it comes to going out with their girlfriends and not me, if she decided to go with her girlfriends, by all means, go right ahead. But you still are an example, or you're still my wife. You're still a representation of me. So I don't need nobody sitting there looking at you while I'm not there talking about, oh yeah, she fast down, birds of a feather flock. Nah, you still gotta carry yourself ladylike, And my thing is, tasteful is very beautiful thing. When you're showing too much, that's when it becomes like nasty and stuff. You want men to admire you. I'm talking about to women that are single. You want men to admire you. You don't want them to lust after you. It's a difference.
Right. I agree.
May I partake? I know I'm late, but I don't want to interrupt anything.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Professor Kevin, is it okay? So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, one day you go out from the mall and you go to your car, and your car is getting lifted on a flatbed, and the guy's saying car is getting repoed, and you call your husband and you say, hey, they're here repoing my car, did you pay the car note? And he says, I didn't feel like paying the bill that day. Is that acceptable? We can't put feelings and emotions into trying to decide what is right and wrong when it comes to our relationship.
True.
What I feel really has nothing to do with pleasing my spouse, because a lot of times to please my spouse, I got to do stuff I don't understand and agree with.
Go ahead, parables. I
That's
hear
I
you.
don't like it. But for us, and this is where I'm respectfully, the double standard comes in. We got to be okay with you not feeling like tending to us, protecting you, because us saying that's too tight is protecting you.
That's
because
good.
if some joke, I almost said, oh, yeah, it's that free show. If some
Nigga.
nigga disrespect you and I'm not there to protect you, y'all don't understand the guilt we feel. Because it was like, where was I at? I should have. We know, because we know men. We know how we think. We know how, the same way y'all know women. The same way y'all supposed to say, sister so-and-so was saying hi a little long, too long for you at church after offering, why she do that? You want us to respect how you know women, but you got to respect how we know men.
That's good.
And you walk by, you got the Cleveland out. And the Cleveland and the Valley of Decision is seen. We know what men are saying and we know what men are thinking, and we don't want our queens to be seen like that. We don't want our queens to be seen as court gestures.
I agree.
That.
So
that's a word. That's a
That
word.
was good.
We're
That
not
was really, really good.
be there to protect you, because if somebody look at you funny, we're gonna be like, what you looking at? You good? All right.
And I ain't trying to go to jail tonight, bro.
Listen,
that part. And like I even brought up, my thing is, like I said at the beginning, the respect of it all is when you go out, nobody should be seeing what I see. Because that should be, it's an intimate thing. And we want to talk about,
you don't want a billboard? You don't want to put a billboard?
Listen, if everybody else seen it, why I want it.
Right. It's not easy. It's not hard to get. Anybody
It's good
can
to
get
see the car from the outside, but once you get on the inside of that car then becomes yours. I don't want everybody in my car. I don't want everybody in my space. I don't allow everybody in my house. So the same applies. And like Justin just said, the thing, it comes back to, we know how guys are because we know how we can be. And that's just the reality of it all. I mean, we talked about before, I'm a musician, and in my mind, songs come up. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm a musician. I'm a church musician.
You remind me of my Jeep.
Hello. And I mean, let's be honest. We all paid attention during offering. When people
I was going to say
that. That's the fact, bro.
And
that's
let me be clear.
Delilah in the church.
Back in the day, that was a time for us to walk. You absolutely right.
Hey, y'all wish y'all be strutting, heels and all.
And we sitting here trying to contain the right
put my
note.
heels on. I got to.
Today, I'm so glad Cash App and all the others. Let me do it from my seat because I don't.
Just do it from the seat.
I had to make it so that the organ was turned a different way, so I couldn't make eye contact with people.
Yo, I'm gonna be real. A woman that I was in love with when I first, this is before I married. This is no disrespect to my wife. When I was dating this girl, and she would go around offering time when the music came down, I was playing. What's that group name? All you gotta do is say yes on the keyboard, just so I can look at her, so she can walk again. I'm trying to tell you.
Lord.
That's a musician. Hey,
the games we play.
It was to her though. It wasn't.
I know.
That was my woman. I just wanted to let her know that I noticed her when she walked past. I said all you gotta do is say yes.
Avery, I got one better. I'm playing. The guys on the organ, and from the organ is trying to holler at my girl.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I would have.
And I'm sitting there looking at him like, nigga, are you serious?
Bop him in the head with a bass. Don't do that.
No, what I did was I watched to see what my girl did.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I can't get mad at him.
Yeah.
If she's giving him play, I can't get mad at him. I gotta watch what she does.
That's right.
Response.
Right about that.
Well, I'll let y'all talk now. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Let's
go. Let's go, Kev.
I tried to tell
Let's
Justin.
go.
I tried to tell Kev it was too early, but
No, it's
Wait, so
never
before,
too
wait,
early.
I have one thought before. Can I ask this one thing? But isn't this okay? I'm not married, okay, so I don't mean any disregard or disrespect. But isn't this line a little thin? Right. Again, I'm the devil's advocate. Sometimes I'm not as friend in real life. Isn't this line like a tinge little thin? Right. Because if your idea, what is, I just think it depends on the person. Right. I'm a curvy girl. Right. And so there's some things with my body type that cannot be helped.
Let's be clear.
but
You're
it's
right.
not
Let's
about
be clear,
it's
right?
not about the curve.
Me
It's
too.
not about it's about the presentation of the curve. It's one thing if you're looking tasteful and it's looking like real right on your body, but it's another thing where you're out to go out and look like you want to reveal something. It's a total
That's the thin line.
Yeah, we understand our sisters are sisters. We
Yeah.
get that. That's
Right.
not what we're saying.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do. And those of us who were born and raised in church, we know how to see past the oversized suits and see what's really down there. We're born and raised in this. It's not that. It's when
bro. That's right.
it's
We
when
ain't new to this. We knew it true.
Right.
We through to this.
it's when, and I'm sure Kevin's gonna touch it. I'm gonna let Kevin go. Go ahead, Kevin.
No,
Well,
I
hold up,
I'm
before
just
he
saying
does that.
because
No,
you can
we
be
understand.
right. Well, you can be moved, and she's not, and her feet were out.
But it may not be that she's doing it intentionally.
Right.
It may not. It could be that it's an intention she doesn't realize she's bringing. But we as men, we know.
Right.
Mhm.
You can tell the difference of
I know.
someone who
And
understands that they're curvaceous and that their body, no matter what they wear, the curves are going to show.
Right. It's
I
always
mean,
gonna be there.
you know that,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you also know, as my mother would always say, just because they make it in your size don't mean you're supposed to wear it everywhere. So it's always being cognizant of where you're going.
One size
And
don't fit all.
it does not. And at the same time, understanding that you know your physical structure, you understand that it's going to attract attention. So what do? Do you wear something that's going to attract more attention, or do you wear something that's going to limit the attention? And kind of like Justin said before, I can't get mad at people for looking. I get mad at what the response is.
Amen.
Okay.
As I was saying,
Oh Lord.
if it ain't for sale, take down the damn sign.
What then is that? What then is that?
And there's that.
Well, Jesus.
If it ain't for sale, stop showing what's in it, what's on top of it, what's behind it. Stop showing it.
I mean, I definitely don't want my wife
No
going around
open
here.
house.
I don't want her going around here looking like TLC from the 1990s with baggy.
Hey, I hear what you don't want. Let me finish this point. The bottom line is, what I know about some broken women is that they want certain men
I hear your voice, Reverend.
to literally, I know you do. I know you do.
I hear your voice.
I know you do. Some broken women want you to bow down to their brokenness, but they don't want to come up to your heel. So the problem that I have is that you're willing to sit up. I've heard women say this so many times. Well, I was doing this before I met you.
And so now that I'm here, you haven't decided to change?
So if you were doing it before you met me, but now you're saying to me that I have to accept you for what you are, we're not going to work, because the bottom line is this. I don't want any man sitting up there and gaining ideas, because not only are you revealing, but you turned in his direction.
Whoa.
And I do understand
Preach.
that at this particular point, what I know about certain broken women, it ain't y'all on here, it's not other, please don't, I'm not saying that. But a broken female seeks more than the attention of the one that has her phone number. That's why a lot of times it's always about how many likes and hearts you get on Instagram, and you so worried about what people are seeing, but you ain't worried about what he's saying.
No, that's true.
Because the reality is, if I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to cater to you, I don't have to sit up here and go, well, everybody else could look at it, everybody else could touch it. No, they can't. So I don't want to go too deep with that because I got so much more I could say. But I
Come
will
on,
say
Doc.
this.
This only ain't even an hour. Go ahead, take your time.
Oh, Lord.
If it ain't for sale, take down the sign.
I agree. But I think sometimes we as women, especially me, I'm a musician. So I would have this issue when I went into some churches of setting up my stuff, plugging it in, and getting ready to go. Well, I didn't realize setting up your stuff required you to, I'm just bending over setting up my stuff like I had somebody pull me to the side and say, hey, from now on, we're gonna set this up for you because you tear the whole male pie up in the church every Sunday. I was like, oh my bad. I didn't know.
Right. So it was innocent obliviousness.
It was very,
It was innocent obliviousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't intentionally doing it. So nobody can be mad at you for that.
Everybody don't have the same mind. We get that. Listen, you can have on a muumuu with a cardboard box of
we see it.
And the guy's still looking at it. That's not your
fault.
That's not your
You
problem.
gotta understand, us as men are hunters. So that's what we're
problem.
going to always
so it's not that. But all right.
Hallelujah.
But at the same time, what I'm saying is that, and Yolanda, you mentioned this earlier, Tanya's the same way. You could be very curvy, and we understand that. You, as I've heard people say, you can't apologize for your curves. That's just what they are.
And please don't.
You can't do at the end of the day, boy, I just think sometimes what happens is that, and Yolanda, you mentioned the double standard. Tanya was talking about the fact that she kind of tries to adorn the wishes somewhat of what's being said. But I think a lot of times it's not about control. It's not about control. It's never about control. It is just always about, I don't want people to see it. Now, fellas, I want to tell y'all something because we real quick to judge folk.
Don't be wearing them skinny jeans.
Don't be
I heard Avery talking about that before.
Stop crunching your balls, fellas.
Please,
stop it.
Because you're definitely going to get the wrong attention that you don't want.
And not only that, but I'm so tired of us fellas trying to tell women how to be and look. And our stomachs are getting to the door an hour before the rest of our body does.
That part.
Nah. Yeah.
Make it make sense.
I want to go back to the crunches.
No.
Let me explain something to you. I once was young, but now I'm old. I'm not as skinny as I used to be. But I'm still a little nervous of showing my gut because I know I have one. So I'm not gonna be the one to be like, oh yeah, I'm still gonna be cognizant of what I wear. I can't do that.
But just like
listen, I'm not 25, I'm 38. I used to wear a medium and now I wear a large. I am not gonna try to squeeze.
I'm not the same, right? Everything has changed.
Everything has changed.
That's what SOP used to sing,
I don't want to.
And it's not because of Christ, it's because of burgers
and beers.
All I'm saying is that we have to, and Tanya put this post up one day. I'm gonna move to the next subject, but Tanya put this up one day. And when she said it, I kid you not, I was standing somewhere right here, but I stopped. She said, here's the thing. If we all learn to live like we need each other, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be a conversation. If I know that I need you, it is not in my best interest. I want to say this, and I speak to all the people who are chronologically mature. Here's the deal. when you
like
are
that.
in a relationship, or when
Chronologically
you
mature.
are
I like
when,
that.
when you're in that, what you have to understand is you want the person more than you want to be right. You want the person more than you want to be right. I love being right, but I love you more. So even though it might be something that I feel dead on and I'm right about, if I have you, it's okay. And now we're dealing with insecurities, we're dealing with all this other stuff. And it's just when it gets down to the fact of where I have to tell you that your clothes are too much, or they're not enough, or something's going on, then I just feel like we're missing the mark in other places.
Yeah.
We're missing it because listen, Deion Cole is right now one of my favorite comedians. Deion Cole is.
Hey, he's hilarious.
And Deion Cole said, listen, I understand. Thomas, shut up. Thomas said, how are you 238 pounds wearing skinny
I
jeans?
agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I understand. Get out that slim section.
Yeah. Deion Cole said, right. Deion Cole said, the woman that's dressed up, got her hair on, eyelashes, eyebrows, nails, just dressed down to a T. We see that, and that's very appealing. And we understand. You look nice. That ain't who we be after. We want the one in the shorts and the tank top with the robe and the bonnet. We want that. Good. That's when you're at the point where if I can love you like that, then certainly you getting dressed up don't really bother me too much because I want the other one. I want to go back to it. And I think sometimes we just miss the mark because we're literally trying to perfect people when we are not perfect
at all. Mm-hmm.
That's the real deal. We trying to create clay dolls, and we playing Barbie and Ken right now. I want to dress her up and do. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a lot of villains out here that don't really want to respect who you're with, so they'll do anything to disrespect that person. Just don't give them the opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
And my heart goes out to a lot of women that do that because a lot of times it's screaming for I need validation.
Yep.
A lot of times they don't get that voice that says, you know what, I love you, I need you, you're wanted, and things of that nature. And that was one of the things that I admired about my wife. She didn't need that from me because she already knew that she had that confidence. But in those times where she would wear stuff, she kept me in mind. She didn't have to hear because she heard it from me all the time. She always heard, you know what, you my queen, I love you, blah 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 blah. And that is what she. Hey, Elder Kitchens, praise the Lord. A lot of those women don't get that, and so they look for it from other places. What really hurts me is they get it from them, but then they also get you a B or I'm gonna beat you and blah blah blah. And that's why my heart goes out to them because they don't know no better. They don't what they know that is love to them. Abuse is love to them.
Yeah.
So I my heart goes out to women that does that a lot, man.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, my heart goes out not only to women that do that, but also to men that feel like they're only men when they can do that to women.
To the right.
Because sadly, we live in a generation and a time where I think Kev even said it before, like we always look at the women and we point at the women, we say this about the women, but what about the men that are jacked up from past relationships, that are jacked up from being raised the wrong way, watching their fathers abuse their mothers? Like it's a cycle of
or didn't have a
craziness.
father to
Or
shoot
didn't
to
have a
show
father.
them.
Exactly. And or not even so much a father, but a malfactor that would be able to show them what it means to be an upstanding man that respects not only himself but whomever else he ends up in a relationship with, or whomever else he becomes friends with. No matter what, you got to respect people and love people for who they are. And Kev, I like what you just said, because when you are in a relationship, it's not about being right. There are sometimes where I look and I'm like, that is the dumbest thing in the world. But you know what? I'm just gonna acquiesce. It is just gonna be, we're gonna agree to disagree because it's beyond that. Let's move from this point and let's move on. I can't say I would have said that 15 years ago, because 15 years ago my mind wasn't there. But something else that you said that I'm going to forever use: chronologically mature. There are some people that are a certain age, but they have not matured.
Not matured, yeah.
And maturation is what this. We're not going to talk about that, Kevin. Maturation is what this needs to. That's really what helps to end this whole conversation about what you wear and how you go out. And once you are mature in yourself and you love yourself enough to know, no matter what you have on, you're not going to let people talk to you a certain way.
Or
you're not going to let people
disrespect you.
deal with you a certain way. But you're going to say, no, I am who I am. Avery just said it about his wife. And I say the same thing about my girlfriend. Like, you know who you are.
Yeah.
And you know whose you are, not just on earth, but whose you are,
Who you
and who's got you in control, who you belong to. You don't have to worry about all the other, because people gonna talk whether you're doing right, whether you're doing wrong. Whether they like what you got on, whether they hate what you got on, they're gonna talk about you. They talked about Jesus, so you're not above reproach. But once you know who you are and you're founded in that, the rest of it really doesn't matter. But that takes maturity.
And that's the one thing that I love about being a dad to girls, is that not only am I able to love them and give them the validation that they need as a young daughter.
I'm sorry,
but
Corey Shipley is stupid.
But I'm also able to show them how a man should love a woman by loving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You don't want to see kids agreement? Yeah, I'm not messing with you, bro. Corey's stupid, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the importance of a male figure. A male figure definitely has to be there to show their daughters how to really love a woman, man. And that's what I do to my daughter. I show them by loving their mother how a man is supposed to love.
That's beautiful.
Can I jump in
and
right
I love what Tommy says too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say to Avery's point, I'm a girl
father,
and grandfather.
Yes, and the one thing I can say, because I'm a little further along in this process than you are, Avery.
Yes, you are.
My daughter's actually older than you.
Yes, I did. Yes, she is.
I'm a little bit further, but I can say this. Growing up, when my daughter was in her teens, I'm not sure if it was what she was really attracted to, or she was just really just trying me and testing me just to see how far it would take before I would implode. Because I can be very honest. I don't have to name names. The innocent, you know who you are. And the guilty, you definitely know who you are. She brought some winners home.
She's trying to piss you off, bro. I'm just letting you know that.
But at the end of the day, I think that she finally came to that realization, to your point. She was able to see, not hear, but see how I treated her mother. How I handled her mother. Even in moments when I was angry, she saw how I handled her mother. So she knew, she had an example in front of her of what her expectation should be.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that's really, again, that's a valid point. And I'm sorry, young lady, I don't know who that is, but God bless you.
That's Yolanda. That's Yolanda.
Yolanda. Okay. All right, I'm Terry.
But that kitchen dress, come on, Corey, bro.
Tommy, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Tommy made a good point. He says some people stay at the age they were traumatized at, and that's really the point. They don't come out of that. And I like you to Avery's point. It is sad because they don't, or somebody's, even Scott's point, like they don't have the wisdom wasn't put in them. But some of that takes us our maturity, right? We can't let that be just our excuse. We have to grow up at some point. But it is sad because some people they're still stuck there. And so then they acquiesce to life, because life is going to keep moving, right? They're going to still get older and things are going to still need to be done. And they acquiesce at life at that same age, still trying to figure it out. It is sad. But.
And in order to get over it, you got to want to heal.
That's right.
That's it. You have to want to.
And in order to heal, first you got to deal with the issue. And stop telling everybody else it's their problem. Deal with your issue.
Right.
And then understand that the only way you're going to get through it is to be accountable and responsible to your own self and say, this is what the situation is. And stop getting a whole bunch of other people involved who almost don't get their face broken.
I hear you.
Kevin, while fighting
loudly and clearly.
You're going out this way. This is the choir directing.
Yeah,
right.
Good.
Take it out. Right. Going to the van.
Going from the top. Yeah, going to the van.
Going to the van.
As a matter of fact, right
And
What's
it's
we
the
sad.
good.
I've never saw so many women nowadays that want to get like their body done. And to me, I know some women, some women have to do it, but most of the women are doing it because they look for validation. It's like, what in the world?
And they be looking a mess.
Yeah.
That part.
Can I
Yeah,
comment?
we saw one in the airport, and I was like, well, I didn't know if that was a man or woman.
We didn't know.
They,
Yeah,
but they
we didn't know
think
if it was a man or woman. Yeah, right, exactly. But it was,
Didn't
I think
even-
they do it because they think it works, right? Someone asked me something one time, right? I'm a singer and a graphic designer. One day someone asked me, they sent me a flyer and they said it was really bad. And they said, I don't understand why the person keeps doing this. I said, do people register for their event? They said, yes.
You keep going
People
to it.
come? Yep.
well,
I said, why would they hire me?
Right.
There's no reason, right? You would have to understand that you would have to understand that you need to upgrade. You have to understand that you need to raise your standard or raise your quality, or you need to raise your excellence. You would have to understand that. But if it's working for you, you don't see a problem. So just me personally, I'm a social media girl. I see this every day. Just like everybody else, right? I may see more or less than some people.
Mhm.
I think people do it because they think it works. Why would
Yep.
you? Why would you not do that? Me personally, I would not do a BBL, right? Like ever in life, I don't need it. I can give it away, and then I don't understand the purpose, right? But I do think a lot of people do it because if you see it's working for Nicki Minaj, or if you see it's working for people in other genres, other cultures, then what would stop you? And then I think a lot of times I get all what y'all saying, but a lot of times there are a lot of it's like it's like being in the it's like being in the desert. What is that called? It's like a mirage. So it appears like y'all saying no, we don't need that, but there are so many men
Right.
that make it seem like that's what they want. And if
Right.
you're already struggling with your value, how you feel about yourself, you think this is gonna work. I have a really good friend who passed away about 10 years ago, and one of the last conversations we had is after she had gastric surgery. She went from a thicker size, let's say in the higher 20s, all the way down to a single size digit. And she said, Yolanda, I did all of that, and he still didn't want me. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And she was like, I don't understand. I lost all the weight. She had lost over 200 pounds.
That's
Jesus.
wow. Jesus.
Can you imagine? And she said, he still didn't want me. But most people, I think, and especially in the day we're in, there's so much going on. That's just my standpoint. I'm
Well,
not
No,
saying
you're
you're absolutely right in that.
right.
As somebody that was in the business, I was a professional actor for 14 and a half years. And the stuff that I saw even before social media became a thing, the lives that people think these people live,
absolutely.
it's not that. You used the word mirage before, and I think that is probably one of the best analogies.
yeah.
It is a mirage because once you walk up to that vision that you thought you saw from a mile and a half away, when you get up to it, you realize it ain't all peaches and cream.
That's what you want, right?
And I mean, like I've worked with some great people, but I mean, let's use Martin as an example. Now, Martin, when he was on set, funny guy, great guy, nice guy, but he was dealing with a substance issue, and most people didn't know it. He was a crazy actor, but I always wanted to meet Chris Farley. Chris Farley,
He was another
making
one.
people laugh, was abusing cocaine.
Yeah.
I'll give you a better one. Robin Williams. Robin Williams. That man made everybody laugh. I mean, I don't know of anybody that said they worked with him and did not laugh just because he was naturally funny. And he was going home broken every night to the point of taking his own life. Phil Hartman was another one. Like, I mean, these were great comedians. But they deal with, and I think that's where people this misnomer of, I need to look a certain way, I need to act a certain way, I need to be a certain way because of the way the media presents stuff. And so I hate when they do these unsung specials and whatnot, and they do the behind the scenes specials. But at the same time, I appreciate when they do that because they need to know that these people are still human and they deal with all kinds of things. I mean, Nicki Minaj, when they show some of the older pictures of her, she's absolutely gorgeous. For her to
Not
do
just her, bro. What's the other girl?
Lil
That
Kim
had
was
the
beautiful when we were growing up.
K Michelle, bro.
K.
K Michelle
Michelle,
too.
Little
Again,
Kim.
Lil Kim
Lil
was
Kim was another
beautiful.
one. Yep. Mhm.
And I'm like, you doing all of this stuff and changing your appearance, and now people are losing respect for you because now you don't know who you are. Or like you said, you doing all this to make somebody else happy, and then they turn around and say, "But he still didn't love me anyway."
That's so
But that's
sad.
the key. Majority of the times, a lot of times, these women are going to get these bodies done, but at the end of the day, it's just a booty call for these dudes. And what
Can I
they're
be honest
doing
with
is
you though?
they're going and marrying somebody else.
Can I be honest with you though? It ain't just the women that's doing it; it's the
The
men
men
too.
too, yeah.
Because think about it, how many men now have gotten gym memberships just because they see all these guys out there now flexing and whatnot? Terry Crews been doing that forever with muscles and all. But I mean, but now it's become the norm. Everybody gotta go to the gym because everybody gotta be cut, everybody gotta be ripped. For what? I'm gonna be who I am because I'm still gonna be me, whether I got the muscles or not. And I might not look like it, but I have moved Hammond organs. I have moved grand pianos. I got the weight. I can do what I need to do. And Terrence is sitting right there and can attest to it. We've done this before. So I might not look like it, but
like Steve moving organs.
Moving organs.
Yeah.
Where he at?
We about to fire him, but go ahead.
He'll be on here in a minute. I think, well, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, brother.
A mind is a terrible thing, in the words of Richard Pryor.
I believe that we have strayed away from what's necessary to reach what's popular, and that's where the danger is. So, as a result of that, you've had people who have been near death, people who have died, people who got the surgery and were still rejected. You got people who did the surgery and wish they didn't do it. Because, and what it all boils down to is this, is that it goes back to this realm. It's not what you're putting in your mouth. It's not what you're doing to your body. It's what you think of yourself. It has nothing to do with all the external stuff, you know. So I respect women. I wrote a book, and in my book, it's been out for 3 years now. I wrote a page in the book that talked about how women can do what men can't. You know, women can have babies, but men always talk about, oh, you're on that day of the month, you know, all this other stuff. You know, I wish we could go to the ocean and grab a seahorse and he could talk so he could tell us what pregnancy is like.
Woo!
Because a seahorse is the only element other than a female that can have a child. He's the only male. And he be having like 1,000 babies. Right. So I wish we could talk to him, but women go through so much stuff that I think to put pressure on a woman to look a certain way and you don't look half of what you think you look like. You know, you got a keg on top of a keg of a belly and they're sideways. They're not even upright. They out.
He said
so everything is huge. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you balding in 5 different places.
Got that horseshoe going.
Your teeth look like you've been
the George
chewing
Jefferson.
on nickels.
George Jefferson.
Your teeth look like you've been chewing nickels. You know, and you running around here, your feet look like you've been scraping them on concrete. You know, you ain't cute at all. Your
Brad Flintstone feet
beard don't meet with your magic. You got all kind of craziness going on, and then you smell bad.
Bad.
I mean, you know, your breath smell like you've been eating creamy baby boo boo all your life. Like you can't do that.
Smelling like a filter fish.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh,
you can't do that. So we gotta really be. Hey, real talk. Some people walking around here putting demands on people that they can't meet themselves.
That part.
As a man, you've been out of shape all your life. I played football. I know what it's like to lift weights. So, Scott, when you said that, it's nothing for me to go and bench press like 300. It's nothing for me to do it. Have I done it in a while? No, I'm going back.
But you
Yeah,
always been
but
cut, so
that's always been like that, right? But I
Yeah.
never did it because I saw somebody else do it. The only people that I got inspired by was guys that been around over 50 years, and that's WWF to WWE. I
The
was
Undertaker.
there,
right.
and
Hulk Hogan and
man,
all of
shut
them.
up.
And we're back there.
I was
Right.
yeah, I was looking at, like Randy Savage and the Steiner brothers and all. I'm like, dang, they are. But I never
Superfly.
looked
And
at
the
another
Undertaker.
man.
He
And,
said
see what I'm
Superfly.
saying? Why you gotta keep going? Why you gotta keep
Superfly
going?
was big. Come on, bro. You know.
Yo, Superfly
He
was huge,
was.
bro. But I
He
just got
was.
inspired by that. So I wanna move from this, but I just want everybody to know, ladies, we respect you. We know that sometimes social media and media and society can be so hard on what y'all look like, but I know as for me, and before where I'm at now, people would laugh at me and they would say, okay, I heard one man say this. We ain't never got to worry about Kev because he's never going for none of the thin ones. He always going
I
for
don't
the
think
big
y'all
girls.
understand, bro. Kev was like,
Tanya, just let them talk.
no, Kev been delivered. Praise the Lord. I'm trying to.
Hey, let me tell y'all something.
Kev like them Rasputia looking women, bro. I was like,
Tracy,
They needed love too. No, not quite. No, they could be thick, but they still had to have they had to be
face.
They were
Thank
you, Terrence. They were pretty.
There had to be presence.
They weren't ugly. They were pretty, but they were just big.
They were healthy.
They were big.
They were Rasputia big.
And I'm gonna tell you, I was not embarrassed at all. I didn't care what none of y'all said.
You sure didn't.
I'm gonna tell the story again. Yolanda, I want you to hear this. I was at Fox Hills Mall.
Oh, I remember the story.
2000. And I walked in the mall and I was with Kurt Carr and the Kurt Carr singer. So the whole band, we were at this mall. And we came down the escalator and there were these very big women standing in front of Lane Bryant.
I remember this story.
And I went to the side and I said, ooh. And all of them said, ooh. Terrence Siobhan said, hey. She said, hi, Mr. Terrence.
Oh, God.
So they were laughing. They was like, well, we're going to go somewhere else because we know Kevin ain't going to pass them up. I went over and I put my arm on each one of them and I said, so which dress y'all get? It was like, we don't know. Which one should we get? And I was like, well, y'all go try them on and I'll go see. The band laughed at me the whole time. On our way out, going back to the 4 Point Sheridan across the street, I had about 7 bags in my hand. And so now the band is laughing and they're saying, this guy, he carrying their bags and stuff. One of the girls heard him and said, oh no, those are not for us. We bought those for him. And you saw Wilson's Leather.
They took care of him.
You saw Foot Locker. You saw all this other stuff. We get outside. This was funny. And Man O'Hain said it. I'm telling his name right on there. He was like, so Kev, you want to get something to eat? And I said, I don't know. And the girl heard him, but she heard that he was being funny. She took her fob out for her car. And she hit it. And the doors of a Phantom Bentley opened up. And she said, wherever he wants to go, he can go. And I said, deuces. Them big girls got money, don't they?
Big girls got money.
They got that extra anointing. In every sense of the word.
One of them, her father.
We was walking through.
Oh, go ahead. One of the big girls had her father owned a law firm in Los Angeles.
Good God.
And then the other one, her father was a partner in Hilton. So they had money for days. They just didn't use it to get smaller. So
I mean, it's not for everybody. Right?
It's not for everybody. But
I
when
mean,
I tell you
everybody, right?
that was the best 12 hours that I had in the two, I'm trying to. I had a good time, and you know, and I looked at everybody else's clothes and said, maybe I'll put on these new jeans. Just let him have it. Tanya, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was gonna say. You so silly.
You said we were walking through the mall and what?
Oh, we were walking through Fox Hills Mall. He tells me about this story. We was walking the other day. He tells me about this story. And I'm like, so did you want to talk to them because they had the money? Like, I'm kind of confused. Like, no, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. But I
Nah,
did have
Kev didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the money.
Oh yeah, no, he told me.
As long as she ate Chinese food with me, I didn't care. As long as she ate Chinese food, we're
Because
fine.
I know that food is important to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we're gonna move on. Brother Chris, if you there, let's go, brother.
He said he be here, man. That's my bro.
Let's go. All right, here's the next bowl. Yolanda, Tracy, Tanya. I think you all saw this, but this is more so for, and I'm saying that because there's so many facets to it. Somebody put a post up that said that the Church of God in Christ organization is.
I saw
Did he
that.
say whack? Is that what he said?
I think that was a nice way to say it. I don't think. I think he said something else. He didn't say whack.
Yeah, he said. Let's find out what he said because I believe it sparked something so.
He said it was manipulative.
That's what he. Okay, so here it is. He said, "Church of God in Christ has to be one of the most manipulative church organizations ever." That's what he said. That's what was posted. That's allegedly what he said.
Well, no, let's go further because in the actual comment, he said they'll either want you to play after you told them no by putting you on the spot in front of the whole church, or they'll ask you to sing a specific song and put the song last on the program, only to turn around and have the person they really want to sing the song, making you stay for the whole program, all in Jesus' name. Kojic sucks. Okay. Yeah, I said it. Hashtag good God all day.
Okay. I'm gonna be real, bro. That's not the first time we heard that because the dude from the Walls group said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
What's your question?
My thing is, I'm gonna say it's not denominational.
No, it's not denominational. I think it's
more. And Ty Trickett was
anything,
right what he said.
The church.
It's the systems. It's the systems of the
system
church.
Of the church.
It said the systems.
Yeah. The systems of the church is right.
Yolanda, what is your take on that? Listening to that whole spiel, what is your take on it?
Take your time. Go ahead.
With power comes responsibility.
Let him use you.
Right? I'm a superhero girl all day to my last breath. With power comes responsibility. And so I just think we have to, God, because he's my friend too.
Who's your favorite superhero?
This week, Spider-Man. This week is probably Wolverine.
Not this week.
I'm a superhero girl, right? I love Spider-Man though. He's dope. I love Wolverine too though. I love X-Men and all that.
Yes.
I'm a Disney kid too, right? I just think okay, so here's always my thing. Is that for real? With power comes with power comes responsibility, and so you have the right to your opinion. This is an overall statement. If anybody would have said it, right? Because I'm not jacking him. You have the right to your opinion. You have the right to feel how you view a life. It's just that you don't always have to express that publicly. And I think sometimes you do more harm than you do good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so when you're of a certain age, I just think there's a better way to deal with your conflict.
Handle stuff, right?
Right? There are a lot of people that watch people. This is always my stance forever. There are a lot of people that watch you. The beauty of social media and the bad of social media is you could all be watching me and I never know. So I just me. I think you have to be careful in what you say because there are and when what everybody's names got drift off. This gentleman to the right, Mr. with the glasses on. Yeah,
Scott.
Mr. Scott, what you said is true. It's not everybody. It's not everybody. Everybody doesn't follow that level of protocol.
I
It's
agree.
not. I grew up kind of Baptist Costa girl. It's not every Kojic church. It's not every Baptist church. It's not every. It just puts everybody in a. No, it's just me personally. It's just a better way. I mean, can we have a conversation? I think a lot of times we get frustrated about problems, but we don't offer solutions. What's the
Yeah,
That's
solution?
good. That's true.
I have
Right?
to
So
agree with
I saw
you.
a comment that said, "Well, why do you keep playing?" I mean, it's no shade, and I love him, and I think he's incredible. But I just, when I saw it, to be honest, my heart dropped. Like, oh,
Yeah,
dang.
I have to agree with you. It sounded like an isolated situation. It didn't sound like one big grand scheme. And as
Mhm.
somebody, I was away from my phone, but somebody said it's not just Kojic, as you just mentioned. It's not just Kojic. I mean, it's not just that. There's non-denominationals that are doing it too. You know what I mean? So, I did feel that he was. It sounded to me as if he was angry at an isolated situation and decided to put this in one big basket. And you're right. We're being watched. You never know where another church that may have wanted to use him or could use him. Now this is on social media, whether you delete it or not. It could be recorded. It could be, it's still connected to some IP. You know what I mean? So I agree with
Mhm.
you 1000%. I feel whatever happened, it sounds like it's isolated, and I wish he would have handled it differently. You know what I mean? Or at least said it differently, I would say.
I think the issue with this generation is we always try to put stuff out there to try to expose, and that's an issue, man, because we end up looking bad at the end.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people try to put stuff out there to be famous, to be on these other platforms like LRL and all these other ones, just so we can get exposure. And that's the problem. Like it's always about trying to get exposure to try to be famous or something like that. I think it's a big issue that people do that. It's crazy.
Tracy.
No comment.
Well, I will say this first of all. I do know that there's been some bad history where this young man came from during his time and tenure at a specific church in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to be all the way honest, it wasn't the church that rubbed him the wrong way. It was a certain person.
Mm.
Oh.
And when that person had power, this is what I know about weak people. Some of us have power, and the first thing we do is try to show that power by getting rid of somebody.
Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
And then, but I've said it to both of them before. I think a lot of times, and this is just reality, I can not like somebody because that person reminds me of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I can look at you and not like you for two reasons. Either I'm intimidated by you or I'm reminded by you. So a lot of times when I'm looking at you, I see myself, so I'm angry, I'm upset or whatever.
True.
I laugh at Ti and all the stuff he says sometimes, but he said, "Listen, when you prepared, you ain't got no reason to be nervous. When you're
Mm.
secure, you ain't got no reason to be intimidated."
Right.
And I think there was a lot that went on there, um, and it put a bitter taste in the brother's mouth. Um, and it's like until you heal from this situation, you're gonna think that every other situation is like this one because you didn't get over that one. So it's hard for you to see the good in this other one. It's like a relationship. If I'm not over
Mhm.
this girl, I'm gonna look at this girl and still see that girl.
Mhm.
I'm gonna still look and attempt to try to make her, feel a certain way because I'm not over this situation. So I think what probably should have happened. This is not the first time something like this has been said, though. It's
Mm-hmm.
just funny that for some reason this just really got belted out, like everybody's seeing it. But I think I think everybody's entitled to how they feel. I understand, Yolanda, what you're saying, that everything is not for everybody. Just because you feel it doesn't mean everybody has to deal with it. Doesn't have.
Right.
I totally get that. And you know, I do understand that when you put this kind of stuff out here, it attacks so many people.
The whole organization.
Innocent people who ain't they ain't do nothing to you. And let me be honest, a lot of them don't even know you.
Yeah.
And don't care to know you.
And don't care to know you. And it's not because you did something wrong. It's just they don't find it important enough to see who you are.
Was there ever a conversation that was had before that post was posted?
There was a lot of conversations that went on, but what ended up happening was it always went bad for some reason. And one thing I know about us musicians, especially the ones that are really prominent, a lot of us have a hard time with egos.
True.
And if music is all you are, then you are in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that could go away in a heartbeat. I mean, look at all the people that were on top of the world 20 years ago, and now you don't even know where they are.
Don't even hear from them.
You know, so, and I say this with all due respect, for people to still want to hear me after all these years and, you know, still want to see what I'm doing with that, I count that as a blessing. So ego is not a part of that equation.
Right.
Because I also know that this could all be over tonight. Like anything, guys.
It'll be all over.
So I think that's the reason why when you actually look at it that way, it's like you have to be very careful about how you handle yourself, because this can actually affect that.
Yeah.
Even if they aren't related, it can still detach you from some of the promotions that you have because you're degrading this. I had to learn it the hard way. I don't like it. I hate it, especially recently. But sometimes your silence is so much more powerful than being verbally heard. Sometimes it's better when you don't say nothing. That's saying something.
Yep.
When you don't say a word, that is like, okay, you know, you quiet during all of this. You quiet,
especially when people are looking for you to say something.
Yeah. Your response is their your response is their championship. Your response is their win. You know, so when you take that power away, one of the greatest powers that we have is the power of attention. If I take my attention off of you, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you got going on. It don't matter to me. Somebody said, well, he said this about you. It's not that I'm too big to know that there are rumors. It's just that I'm too big to sit and listen to them.
Right.
You know,
that's good.
People talk about me all the time, but I found out that the reason why they're talking is because they're not me. It's not because of what I'm doing. You just mad because it's not you. I've had certain ladies be mad. You're not mad at what I'm doing. You're mad because you didn't get chosen.
Right.
That's all. That's what's wrong.
Absolutely.
You know? Well, you think you all of that. No, you do. You've never seen me.
That's why you keep bothering me.
Right. That's why you keep that's why. Let me shut up. All right. Anybody else?
I want to say before I go on my tangent, I agree 175% with everything that you all have said. But what hasn't been talked about is the truth of the statement. There is an issue in as you all said, the body of Christ, where we have bullies in the pulpit who abuse authority, and I don't know who's worse, if it's the controlling bishops or if it's these arrogant adjutants that be trying to put people in seats on the stages. I don't know who's worse. You can't tell those guys nothing. They think that
light bulb heads, bro. I'm telling you, they heads so big.
Man, you can't sit there. I'm this and this and that. And I had this guy, right? I was at a holy convocation. Oh, I'm gonna say it because I don't care. I was at Church of God in Christ Holy Convocation last November, and there was a man who came up to me and he was bragging about the fact that he was an inspirational speaker. I jokingly said to him, I said, "Oh, you gonna wear a robe?" It was a joke. You're an inspirational speaker. You're gonna wear a robe. The man proceeded to go on a 7-minute tangent to me. Now, I'm a pastor. I've been preaching since I was 13. I've been in multiple denominations. And if anybody knows protocol and order, I do. The man proceeds to tell me in front of everybody, loud in the hallway, this boy, in my words, don't know protocol.
He called you a boy?
I'm sitting there with my bass on my back.
That's enough fight noise right there.
And I'm looking at this man and I'm like, all right, Justin, how you going to respond to this? He said, you never wear a robe in front of a bishop. That's disrespectful. That's out of order. Mind you, he had no teeth in his mouth. I just want to paint the picture for y'all. I need y'all to know that I can't take you seriously when you talk about protocol and you have not a tooth in your mouth. So I'm intrigued, Mr. Know-It-All, to hear what you got to say to us when you mount this sacred and holy desk in front of these thousands of people.
Yuck mouth.
Right.
And I was amazed to see, this has nothing to do with the story, but I'm sure it'll bring some amusement, that the same man who was toothless the night before had a mouth full of teeth. It's a miracle.
God works wonders.
Doesn't he? This man preached, and he didn't say half of nothing.
That happens all the time.
Just
those are the ones.
Just 30 days ago, an article came out about that same man getting arrested for misappropriating funds from the church.
He bought them teeth. That's what happened.
Yeah, yuck mouth miracle. That's what it's called.
This is the point I'm making. Church will make people feel like they are somebody when they're nobodies.
Absolutely.
And like she said, with power comes responsibility. And we have so many irresponsible people who have positions, who have titles. And what they try to do is they want people to follow them. They want people to serve them. They want people to yield to them. And because they are not genuine leaders, they force people to do it. So the reality is there's some truth
bullies, to
the statement. And the statement is we have people in multiple churches and organizations who misuse the genuine people for real. Now, I agree with everything y'all said. There's multiple ways it could have been done. Don't use the platform. But as a pastor, there is a truth to that statement. And as somebody who went from PAW to Church of God in Christ, and when I tell you I cannot stand the politics, and forgive me, I don't care. I don't need to play on your stage. I don't need to play in your service. I don't need to play at your church. I don't need to preach at your church. I'm not sucking up to you. I'm not kissing your ring. I'm not greasing your palms because you a man just like I'm a man. And if you want to get further down, I don't need to get God's gonna open doors. What happened to the scripture that says my gift makes room for me? Who are you? You ain't nobody.
It brings you before great men.
You ain't nobody. You don't realize my gift got me before you, homie. Get out of here.
Hello.
Yo.
And the reality is, I'm gonna say this because, like Kevin said, there's some people who be like, they think they like he said, they like the clout chase. But the reality is I'm bringing more views to your service by being here. Sir.
Come on, sir. Come on. They watching your stuff because of me.
My name being on your album is bringing you attention, sir. Don't try to act like
you don't even want to talk about that.
No, it's reality.
Nah, it needs to be said, bro.
Somebody said before they talk about manipulation, but pulpit pimps, that's real,
bro.
I preached about that years ago. And I was just telling Elder Kitchens yesterday that for Pentecost Sunday, I struggled with it. I was like, God, I don't want to preach this, and he was like, no, you're gonna do it. And I just kept saying, do I have to? But will the real church stand up? And we look at Acts 2, and everybody looks for that moment. Number one, that was a moment for that moment. That's number one. But number two, we were given a commission and the commission was to go make disciples. Are we making disciples, or are we building legacies and monuments to ourselves?
No, exactly.
And that's what's happening with the church now. My uncle is a bishop from Ohio, and uncle will always say, no matter who he preaches for, he's like, I preach for Jakes, I preach for Noel
Are
Jones,
you
I
talking about
preach for
Bishop
Bobby.
Clark? Are you
Yes.
talking about Bishop Clark? Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes,
my
sir.
uncle. But he's like, I preach for all these people. But one thing I respect about him, he don't let nobody carry his briefcase. He carries his own robe. He comes down out of the pulpit and talks to the people. When he benedicts on Sunday, he is standing at the door. So as the people are leaving First Church, now First Church, he's got 4,000 members. When they walk out of the door, they are seeing their pastor before they go to their car. Nothing bothers me more, and I've always said this: I can never be a part of, play for, preach at a church where I can't be in contact with my pastor.
Absolutely.
I need to be able, and granted, I understand that there's a lot of stuff that he or she may not be able to do simply because of time, and they can't go everybody's beck and call. But if there's an emergency and I need to get to my pastor, I need to talk to my pastor.
That's right.
That was the one thing I loved about my grandfather, man. Whether he's my grandfather or he went to
was
everybody's court case, went to everybody's doctor's appointment. He went when he was needed by his members, he was always there.
Listen, and even for those that weren't his members, I can hear your grandfather now, son. I'm trying to tell you. That's it.
Yo,
it's the mob mentality that has crept into this church. It's crazy. You want me to hate people that you got animosity with, but they ain't been nothing but gracious to me, but think because I gotta be loyal to you, I gotta hate them. Please, I'm not inheriting nobody's enemies. Y'all crazy, but this is the mindset.
Because they leave you to hang out there on the branch when it's all said and done. Oh, I ain't got nothing to do with it. And you out there on the branch by yourself.
But it goes back to what you said, man. It's manipulation, bro. Manipulation. This church of today is nothing but the spirit of Jezebel, bro. It's so demonic. It's so much manipulation and so much I want to be. It's so much control. It's too much control.
I told God, if I gotta sell myself out and start kissing up to these people to be somebody great in the kingdom, I'm good. I'm walking away. I mean preaching, music, pastoring, everything. All of it. I'm good.
Everything.
I don't want no parts of it. These jokers is crazy.
They crazy.
I got people in New York. I ain't gonna say their names because I won't say their name. I got people in New York who think I need their approval to validate me as a musician and a preacher. Nigga, you crazy? You crazy. You the laughing stock of New York anyway. I don't need your approval. You need to worry about your marriage before you worry about somebody else, please.
Tell it, bro. Worry about your marriage, bro.
We mentioned something a couple weeks ago how it was like all these churches on one row and y'all can't talk to each other because if you do, then the pastors denounce you. Remember y'all said that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Justin said it, and he named the names and everything.
I'm typing it right now. I'm debating if I want to send it.
It's bad though.
You ain't gotta say it, but that's crazy.
But it's bad.
There's no unity. Yeah, that's
Kev's gonna lose it. Kev's gonna lose it when I say this. Y'all watch that.
I already know.
Oh, we already knew that too, bro.
I don't need to
bro,
be. I don't need to be. No, really. I don't need to be interviewed. Bro. I don't need to be invited. I don't need to be honored. I don't need none of that because I don't do that for this. I don't do this for that. I don't need you.
It's bad.
I don't need no pat on the back. Are y'all serious?
And it's a group of them. It's not just that.
Bro, I could type more names.
Oh,
I could type more.
I'm sure you can, bro.
I'm not kissing your ring. I'm not sucking up to you.
I'll never forget.
I respect. I respect what you've done. But I'm not sucking up to you now to think you gotta make me somebody great now, bro. Please.
I'll never forget. I went to a funeral years ago. It was for my grandmother's brother.
Stop talking.
So a lot of people down south don't really know, like, the magnitude of how my grandfather was. He was an apostle in the Lord's church, but he kept it like mad low, like nobody really knew. So this guy is getting up there. He's preaching, and he ain't supposed to be preaching. He's supposed to be actually giving words of greeting. He get up there singing songs. I want to go where the thunder don't. He's singing all that stuff, all this stuff up in there, right? And so at the end of the funeral, my grandfather still quiet because my grandfather was laid back. So he was like, He's like, "Hi, my name is Reverend so and so." So my grandfather said, "Hey, nice to meet you. My name is Apostle Franklin Pettiford." And it shut the whole thing down because my dude was trying to really like show out. Like nobody cares about your title, but if I really want to shine, I'll let you know that my title is bigger than yours. That's It's just people in the church is just they so title driven. They're just
Well, I can tell. I'll tell you this much. I can tell how you live based on how you lead. And the reality of it is, a pastor who don't like to be home gonna always find a reason to keep the church doors open.
Speak.
And people who love their families and who love to be home are people who don't have to be in church all day. And my point is that these pastors are literally trying to keep you from things that make you whole, so that you can always need them.
Ooh, that's
right.
Which is a form of manipulation.
Manipulation. Yep.
The next thing is, if I can't, I'm going to use this against you. If you don't do what I tell you to do, God is going to get you.
That's it.
Or you're going to hell.
I found out that reality has let me know that what has happened was God got me because I followed you and not him.
Right.
So when you get your feelings hurt because I don't get with you and do what you want me to do, then I understand you have some of y'all. I gotta say it this way. Some of y'all ain't happy in your marriages. That's why you toiling and everybody else's, and you doing all this other stuff, and because you're trying to fill a gap that you created. It's nobody else's job to convince you that you're worthy of being called a pastor when you're not convinced yourself, which is why you're good in the pulpit, but you bad out the four walls of the church.
Still an act of low self-esteem, bro.
We're not passing judgment. All I'm saying is, and I'm gonna say it, ladies, if you don't want to hear it, cover your ears. But the real truth and fact of the matter is, if you was getting it right at home, you won't want to be out at church all day either. And not just that, but if you would stop trying to sleep with all your members.
That part.
And stop trying to manipulate. Stop trying to. Oh God.
Go ahead, brother. No, go ahead. You're right.
If you would stop, we're not passing judgment. All I'm saying is that they have created this cult where as long as you do what we tell you to do, you are eligible for heaven. But the reality is that's not the case.
Kev, you preaching, bro.
Kev,
this is the truth. This is the truth.
I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that we are intimidated by somebody with a clergy collar on and the cross sitting in the left pocket and, trying to tighten up them jackets to see. I've had pastors who were so disrespectful to me and thought I was supposed to take it because they didn't know who I was.
Jesus.
But the truth was, just because you don't know me doesn't mean I'm nobody. It means that the level that I'm on, I'm too high up for you. So it's hard for you to see me from the ground.
Yep.
So you think because you're on the ground that I'm supposed to just come down out the clouds, come down from my success, come down from my accomplishments, come down from my reaching my goals to come and fit you? I ain't fighting another pastor over $500 no more. I will not do it.
But it still goes back to what we was talking about earlier, man. It's a lack of self-confidence, a lack of self-esteem, and a lack of power. All of these pastors that's doing this don't have a voice at their own home, bro.
I just said that. You're not treated. I tell musicians all the time, I can tell how you live based on how you play, right? So if you playing congested, you running every 5 seconds, every 2 beats you riffing, every 2 beats you chopping, all this other stuff, it's because you're trying to get out all that stuff that you can't put out at home.
Yep.
Right.
Same thing
so
for preachers.
these pastors, you don't have a good life at home. I'll tell you one that's in Riverside, California. He got 5 services and 300 members.
What?
He's coaching
Why?
too. He's coaching too. He got 5 services. He don't like being home.
Ain't no way in the world.
Because he ain't got a voice. That's why.
You don't
His
like
wife run
being
him.
home. You don't like being home.
Ain't no way.
His wife don't run him because the way she feels about him and he feels about her. If they got on the plane, he would go first class. She'd have to sit and coach.
Oh,
That
yeah.
devil is a lie.
Oh,
That devil is a lie.
I guess y'all know who that is, right?
I can only imagine.
So
What it would be
my whole
like.
thing is we can't deal with that. Let's move on, man. Because
What is Terrence doing? What is
Terrence is talking to somebody. This is what we deal with in person
all the time.
Excuse me, but I had somebody in my office. I was trying to take care of something else, and I'm listening with both ears. Thank you very much.
Like we said, talking to somebody else.
Sorry, this is what we deal with. This is what we deal with in person. I promise.
He got to be listening because he responded.
Bless you, bless you, bless you, and bless you.
Who's next?
I love you.
Okay. All right.
can I ask a question again? I'm like
Terrence is the man.
I don't think I'm talking to my. No, I'm not. Come here,
Yolanda. What did you say?
I don't want you. I don't want
So
you.
I have a question.
Come around here so they can see
So-
us on camera.
Oh, his thing's on. Okay.
See?
Hi.
How you doing?
Good night.
How are you?
care.
Good night. Have a good
Taking
one.
care of church business. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
That saying
All right.
ain't just for Jesus.
sir.
Terrence may not come when you want him, but he be here.
He'll be right on time.
And again, bless you, and bless you. Who's next?
Yolanda, go ahead.
So I do have a question, right? As a person who serves, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never say nothing, right? I always so careful my words. This makes me just a tinge uncomfortable because as a person who serves like faith-based community and pastors and leaders, right? I've seen both sides, right? I serve some. I do work for some people who are really, really incredible. Like they're just really good people. And one name is Pastor David Cooper. And he told me something one day. He said, he said what's bad is that there are more good guys than there are bad. But the good guys don't have the platforms, maybe like some other people. Because I'm not saying the big guys are bad either. I'm just saying, sometimes the smaller spaces that are doing the work, like a Pastor Renee Glenn, right? This woman is doing the. Oh, isn't she amazing, right? She's doing the work. I had the amazing opportunity to be in the church for Pentecost Sunday. And after the service was over, after she didn't tear with people, she walks around saying, so you good? You got what you need? You good? So I do get it. We don't get a lot of that anymore. But again, I'm always a solution person. Like what do we do in these spaces, right? We get really frustrated about these situations and how people are. Because what I found is, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's sometimes that they don't want to be at home. I think this is, I think this is just all they have. This is all that they are.
All they know.
And all they know.
Right. We saw this a lot during the pandemic. This is all, if you've been pastoring for 40 years and your church shuts down, and for real, the other side is, not that you don't love your wife, not that you don't love being at home, but this is your other baby.
Yeah, you right.
And your other baby is sick, and you don't know how to care for your other child. What do you do? And
now I can feel that because they don't have the help. I get you.
I hear you.
In those instances, go ahead.
Yolanda, I think I don't believe God is not the author of confusion. God is not senile. God is not bipolar. God would not say marriage is honorable and then call you to do something that's pulling you from your family.
Sure.
Nothing biblically in the church is deemed honorable. Only marriage. So why would I make a covenant with somebody that God honors, but then say God called me to be away from that and neglected? That contradicts God's principle.
I don't know if it contradicts God's principles. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Because, sorry, that's just who I am. Because if you were only taught this way, right? What I learned, unfortunately, I'm gonna say this, but I'm okay. My mom passed about 6 months ago. One of the biggest lessons I am learning is she could not give me something she did not have. It's not doesn't take away from her being a great mom because she was. She gave me structure. She gave me foundation. I'm learning, and she gave me independence in her own little way. Right? This doesn't take away from her being a great mom, but there were things that probably would have bettered my life if she would have given them to me, but she did not have it. So what I'm also learning again as a person who serves pastors and having some very personal conversations is if we've had this structure for the last 50, 75, 100 years, of course you don't see the big deal that you haven't been home moved, and took your wife on a vacation in 10 years. Because the pastor you grew up was the same way.
Wow.
He wasn't doing anything wrong, in my
It's just
opinion,
all he
right? It's
knew.
like
And that's
that's all he knows. It's like you said about the
right. I
girl
was
who's at church and
right.
she's not trying to be out of order. She just likes the open toe shoes. She doesn't know that you have a
Right.
fetish. And again, I'm not necessarily defending wrong or anything. I'm just saying
You bring
if
perspective.
I
I
grew up in a
understand.
church where my childhood pastor had less than a 6th grade education. He could only give the people so much.
Right.
So
That's
all I'm saying is there are those, it's not everybody, because there are
Yeah.
people that manipulate the system.
yeah.
But I'm saying there are those that you may have a better idea of it now because maybe you've chosen a better way. You and your bros are having conversations. You're going to therapy. But back in the day,
They
they
didn't
didn't have
believe in
that.
therapy back then,
That's
right?
I think
Therapy.
And I got
Yolanda,
even a better one
I
for
think
you.
there's a one-sidedness in that. I understand what you're saying, but now let's talk about this person who saw that for 50 years and saw a pastor who was out and doing what they doing and was never home. What's the conversation with the wife that got left home? What's that feeling? What's that feeling of neglect? What's that feeling of abandonment? What's that trauma that woman is? Oh, I had to raise these children by myself. Or the children. Let's be real. We had a PK conference full of PKs who have been wounded because their fathers and mothers dedicated their lives to. So I understand what you're saying, but now when are we gonna say, I know what I saw, but maybe there's a better, or as the Bible would say, a more excellent way. I can't repeat history. If I saw my dad, and my parents weren't in ministry, my dad's an elder and my mom's an evangelist now, but I didn't grow up like that. If my dad is always going and preaching and teaching and doing this and doing that, and my mom is home and she's like, and she's upset and she's hurt, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna say, I don't want to be the cause of that to my wife. I can either repeat what I see or I can be better than what I saw. And that
But now you are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right. Because I know the backstory of it. I gotta play all. We gotta play all angles.
Let's play all angles of it from this side. Now, I'll speak from the pulpit side, but then I'll also speak from the educational side. Because looking at students who have seen their parents go through or their parents do things, no matter how much you tell them this is not the right thing to do, when they go back home, they're gonna still see what their parents have always done. So they get into that cyclic motion of generational curses, as we like to call them. And those generational curses never get broken because as much as you might have one voice telling them, oh, you need to change a little bit, when you got 9 other voices on this side telling you this is right, or there's no other voice telling you this is wrong, it's like, well, they're outsider. They really don't know. And so this is what I'm going to do. So to play to Yolanda's point, when you talk about these pastors that have not necessarily progressed the way that some of us would see. Again, we're a different generation than they are. 50 years ago, things were a lot different. And it's hard for some people that change is hard for everybody. But for the older ones, change is really hard because then the question then becomes, how do I remain relevant in this change? And so if that's all they've ever done, like she said, they're always going to continue to do that because they feel like the moment that they change, they're either going to fail or they're going to fall or they're going to die.
Yeah.
And everybody is scared of each one of those 3 things, if not all 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
And so this is where we end up with, and this is why I talked about the whole idea of, again, going back to Acts chapter 2, your old men will dream dreams and your young men will see visions. There's a difference between a vision and a dream. The problem is oftentimes we like to take the dreamers and put them to the side and don't want to listen to what they say. Simultaneously, a lot of the dreamers like to put the visionaries to the side because it's like, oh, well, what do you know? Well, if I'm young enough to tap into what's going on right now, and you still have enough power in you, even in your wisdom, while we might not be able to do all this right now, your wisdom will say, we can't do all of this right now. Let's do a little bit of it. But my energy will say, okay, well, you might not have the strength to be able to do it right now, but let me help you. We all have to learn how to work together. And that's what the problem is in church. Again, going back to that spirit of manipulation, because there are some people that feel that they're only relevant when they can give directives, when they can give instructions, when they can tell you what to do. Some people just don't like to be helped. And so I see both sides of the coin. Kevin, fix your face. But some people there are, and Avery mentioned it before too, where and I think Kevin talked about it too. There are some people, they don't want to get to a place of being healed. They want to bring you down to their hurt. And so all of this works in tandem. And again, it's mind-boggling, particularly in the black church, because the white church is not nearly as repressive as we are. The black church, no matter what the denomination is, we have been a people that have been oppressed and repressed for so long that we don't know what it means to be free.
Yep. Don't even know.
Yep.
And some
And
people
it's
don't
scary.
want to be free.
They
Some
don't.
of them don't. Some of those people love dogmatic leaders, and you will find them just going to them in droves.
Yep. I loved Nina Simone, and I know it wasn't her song, but she made it popular. I wish I knew how it would mean to be free. I wish I could break all the chains binding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say, that I could say. Say them loud, say them clear for the whole round world to hear. We don't understand in the church that that mindset is we still wish. Why are we still wishing and not doing? We have the ability to do, but oftentimes we don't want to break that cycle because we're scared of the unknown.
I told my leaders tonight, I said, we have to serve God's people from a healed place.
Yep.
We cannot serve God's people from a wounded and broken place. You bleed on the people.
Yeah.
I said, you hear differently when you're healed. You speak differently when you're healed. You see differently when you're healed. Because we have a tendency to see things through our pain.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're used to. But to your point, Scott, and to your point, Yolanda, isolation is a form of manipulation.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I don't expose you to others because I don't want you to see something different than what I'm preaching. I'm
right.
Ooh, let me not say that. There are some people I know who have taught their people anything that is not what I'm preaching is Herodias and blasphemous. I'm sitting and I'm looking at them like, are y'all crazy? And they'll get up.
Well, I
and
mean, Reverend Ike did that for years. You can't lose with the stuff I use.
They'll get up and they say, Bishop said, Pastor said, this was said, that's what said. Okay, well, what did Jesus say? What did God say?
Right.
But that's the manipulation that it is. And for me, and I told my church because I have members who I know, and I know the church, the journey. Then some of them were in the church I was in, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, I'm not that. I'm not what we grew up in. I'm not what we saw. I'm not that because I didn't see it be productive. So I said, God, if you're gonna call me, make me different. I don't want to be what I saw. I don't want to be what hurt me. And I think a lot of times we use as an excuse, Dr. Scott, we use it as an excuse that we become what hurt us. That's an excuse. You can't allow that to let that be the story and the blueprint of what you're going to be. I don't care if my parents got divorced. That won't be my story. I'm a product.
Right.
I'm a product.
Let's stay there for 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Here's my biggest problem.
That was good though.
Here's my biggest problem.
That was
my
real
biggest
good.
problem is I get so sick and tired of people trying to make you carry what they're dishing out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the reality of it is, be an adult. Everybody's grown till it's time to be an adult. Everybody's grown.
It's true.
And what I know about all of that is that the one reason why a lot of people can't get healed is because what they're really saying is, if I'm healed from this, now I got to spend time trying to find something else to complain about
To do.
because I don't have that anymore to hold on to. Be it your mama, your daddy, or anybody else. You are literally saying that if I get healed from this, I don't have this pain to hold on to anymore.
Yeah.
So now I've become addicted to the pain.
Yep.
And I'm a novice at being healed, and I don't want to start over. So I'll just live in misery, and you got to live in it with me too.
Because somebody has to
Come
be
on,
held
Chad.
accountable for you. Now you got to be held
Come on,
accountable for
Chad.
your healing, and people don't like accountability.
Can I ask you a
Accountability.
question?
Go ahead, Terrence.
I've heard this analogy that they say that the church is comparable to a hospital, meaning that hurt people,
More like a
people that deal
hospice.
with issues.
Oh.
People with issues are supposed to be able to come to the church and receive healing or receive corrective.
Supposed to be. Yeah.
So how is it that if you're a leader, how can you help the healing process of somebody when you yourself are sick? I can't set your broke leg because I'm walking around with two broke arms.
All right.
I told my leaders, I said, we be in church, we're the ones where we kind of go against the grain, where we should get high off our own supply. I need the God. Don't do it, Cunningham. Relax. I need
take your
the
time,
God
brother.
I preach about. I'm not about saying cry. I'm not gonna do that. I need the God I preach about. I need the God I sing about and pray about. I need it for real. And because I know the benefits that come, I need other people to know, like, hey, you need to get the same God I got. But I gotta take it first. Before I preach it to my people, I convict myself about it.
That's how it works.
Before I bring it to the
You got to be the first partaker of it. You have to.
my people get the word watered down. I told them, I said, if y'all got what the way I got it straight when God gave it to me, we would be in here all night on the floor crying, spitting, and snotting. There's no way. Y'all get it watered down because when it hits me first, I can look at that mirror and I'm like, really, God? Really? But we can't, like you said, we cannot do that. I'm a product of this spirit, the spirit of it won't be me. My father didn't have his father. He never knew who his father was. My mother, her father left my aunt, my uncle, and her and my grandmother at a young age. My father said, I will never let my sons not know who their father was because I know what it feels like not to have a father there. And as a result, my father still in this today. When I tell you my biggest fan, I don't care where I'm at. If it wasn't for him being at the church he's at, he'd be right there with me. That he is my biggest fan. He's there. I'm preaching. He's there. I'm playing. He's there. I got married. He's there. I had a son. I'm there. I had my daughter. He was there. I'm proud of you, son. I got your back. Here's a couple dollars, son. I know how it is. Go ahead. That's because of what he didn't have. I'm benefiting from. Him and my mother said, we don't want our children not to know their father. So that common denominator of it won't be me is I'm a product of that. I adopted that. And now I watch people fall on their face and I have that same spirit and I say, it won't be me. And I watch pastors, I've watched musicians, I've watched fathers, I've watched husbands. Hey man, show pretty, show them pretty. Pretty,
Hey, girl.
Pretty, show them pretty.
Hey,
Teaching how to be pretty already. But I've adopted that, and now what my father gave me, I give to her. I give to my son because they said it won't be me. And then there's things my parents gave me, and I was like, no, that won't be me. I want to do something different for my kid. And so I want to build because all things work together for our good. So even when if my upbringing was bad, I can be good and I can learn from it if I let God use it as a tool to teach me to show me what not to do. Sometimes God exposes us of what not to do and what not to be.
That's a
And
fact.
hey, don't be this, don't do this. And I've sat under some leaders where God said, this is great, take this, take that. And then I sat under some leaders where God said, don't be this.
Don't be this.
Yeah,
Right.
Here's an example of what not to be. Yeah.
Not today.
Right.
Justin,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I just feel like,
Go ahead.
Justin, what your father did for you was break that generational curse, because now you've curved and said, oh no, I'm going to be there for my kids. And my kids are going to be there for their kids. And
Absolutely.
they're going to watch and love it and do the same thing for this. I think that's beautiful.
Justin, I think one of the biggest things too is that you exposed something tonight. And I want to say this. Okay.
Take your time.
You have to understand that, healing is always available.
It is.
Healing is always available. Whether you take it or not is your problem. Healing is always available. I heard a wise pastor say, I ain't never met nobody who wanted God and didn't get him. I ain't never met nobody who wanted God and didn't get him. So that was good. I don't even know how we started that, but let's move on from this. Yolanda, you were, I don't know if you still are, and I don't know. I think you were. Yes, you are. You were. You were a member, or you might still be a standing member of the.
Your phone was breaking up.
Your phone is breaking up. Oh, me?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. No, it was you.
Oh, I said you are a standing member of Higher Calling, right?
Oh, I'm a limit here to the day I die.
Okay. So
I'm a limit here to my soul, yeah. Absolutely.
As we all know, Higher Calling was
of
Kevin
Lemons Higher Calling all day.
My brother was telling me about you. My brother Brandon Hinton.
Keys?
No, he doesn't play. He's from South Carolina, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah.
I thought at the top of the head. Anyway.
Okay.
It was so messed up. Actually, Yolanda and I met during the time that I was doing an album out in Colorado. But I didn't know that they had affiliation. So,
Colorado.
Yeah, I'm from Colorado. I live in Charlotte.
You lead a song?
The mass. Nope.
Oh, okay.
The second mass started after I left.
I got you.
Kidding.
You in Charlotte?
But,
That's where I'm. Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
And she was with Kevin Lemons. I don't know how long you were there, but they actually came to Vegas one year, and I played for them that time. And that same time, in a couple of months later, Kevin had passed. And I didn't know he was sick. I had no clue with that. He didn't look different to me. I looked at the picture and I was like, it looks okay.
He was a gift to the world. My God,
Absolutely,
man.
But it was quite evident to me. And I'm gonna move on. I want to throw this in there though. We're talking about the church, and I don't want to stay on this long, but it's funny to me how so many people are coming out the woodworks now that Kevin is not here.
Right.
Because when Kevin was here, you didn't hear from some of these people. And I think one of the biggest things with that was just listening to his album. I listen to it every now and then. And I would have to say there is nobody out here that sounds like that choir.
No. Nowhere.
Nobody nowhere. I didn't say they were the best. I just said there's nobody that sounds like them.
They have sound.
Yeah.
All they're musicians, bro.
All I know is that the church hears what it wants to hear when you say something.
Yeah.
Touch your neighbor and say, I agree.
I never said that they were the best. I said there's nobody out here like them.
Nobody.
But somebody will listen to that and say, well, Kevin Stanson said, well, you know what? If I want to say it, I'll say it. Y'all got that by me. But Kevin Lemons and them, I just want to put that in there. That was they're still holding on, but I'm telling you, there was nobody touching that choir, man. I mean, they didn't sound like that. And it didn't take all of them. It only took like 12 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. So, I mean, I had already been following Kevin for
I
years
said
anyway.
I was moving on. Go ahead.
I know that, but when y'all did that rehearsal with "Walk in the Light,"
Yeah,
with just organ,
the rehearsal
with just organ,
lesson,
and them choir members, I was like, "This is how you know you got people that are forget great singers and all that stuff. You got people that are dedicated to ministry because worship happened in the middle of that rehearsal, just for singing "Walk in the Light."
Yolanda, was Daniel playing organ or who was playing organ at
Was
that
it
time?
Eric?
Do you know?
It probably was Eric. If I
Let
was
me
there
tell you
that day, it probably was Eric. It was either
I
Eric or
think it
Daniel.
was.
Yo, all I know is I don't know where y'all was at, but y'all did like 1 minute version of Perfect Peace, and
Yep.
that man had me screaming like
They can't do that song for me. I don't. Hey, let me tell y'all real quick. I was in Atlanta, and Kevin and I call him. We were at church. My group was singing at this concert back. We were doing "Purify My Heart," just
song.
And Kevin and them got up there, and they came behind us. And they said, "Can we do this song with you?"
Perfect Peace.
And I was like, "Y'all know the words?" And they said, "No, we're gonna do your song, and then we're gonna come right behind you." We did "Purify My Heart," and Kevin came right behind it and did "Perfect Peace" after that. Anybody will tell you, I took
I
that
don't know
towel
what
that
y'all be on when y'all sung that song, but
hold on. I took the towel and I literally gave Kevin the microphone and I walked out to my car and sat in my car. I couldn't stay in that service. There was no way I could stay in there. That dude, and the thing about it, it's so effortless. Like y'all not even trying.
yes.
Yo,
Why do y'all sound like that?
Yo,
Y'all not
Kev.
even trying. Y'all not even trying.
I knew Kevin. I seen him at GMWA and everything, and we did the Brat Pack in Atlanta. GMWA was in Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
And it was Hezekiah.
Yep,
Ricky,
and
Donald Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whenever that stuff happens, Donald Lawrence is kind of the glue. He's the producer. He has the ear. That's great. And Kevin Lemons and High Calling was the choir. And I remember the night before we had a rehearsal, we had a run through because it was some of Hez's musicians and mainly Kevin's. It was just really us and Quad, I think, came and played. And so we went to the rehearsal and we went through the rehearsal and Donald Lawrence said, "Y'all sound great. This is perfect. We'll see y'all tomorrow." Kevin Lemon said, "No, we're going to rehearse some more." And
he was a perfectionist, bro. That's what happens when your birthday is in September. You're a perfectionist.
I walked away and I was amazed at the work ethic
look at my face.
that he was having.
I'm just saying, when your birthday is in September, you are a perfectionist. You ain't never
Mine's in October, so what's my problem?
August.
Mine's October,
August
so what's the problem?
September, baby, right here.
No. Let me explain something to you. There's two Scorpios in the room right now, and we are certainly the people that will point out every error in the spot.
But you're not like us, Virgos. So
Thank
Kev
God.
was a Virgo, just like
Thank
Beyonce,
God.
just like Michael Jackson.
Scorpions rule. Go ahead, sir. Justin, go ahead with the rest of the space.
I don't know who told you Scorpio's rule. I don't
Thank
know
you.
who told you that. I don't know who told you that. I don't know who told y'all that. I don't know.
Watch yourself.
I'm not trying to go down.
It's not what I was told. It's what nature has
But
determined.
what I'm saying is, Kev was a perfectionist.
All day.
He was. If your note wasn't right, he could hear it. I'm trying to tell you.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. He would
He would
kill GMWA every year.
And I think what the reason why I said that I literally he asked me to go with him to Indiana that year, and I ended up not going, and that was the last message I got from him. And the next word I got that he passed. And it took me a long time to get through that. And then after he passed, they decided that they were going to do a tribute to him in Las Vegas.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna move on to the next subject. So here's the thing. I fight for Kevin because we were family. Like, he was really cool with me, and I love his choir. And they would be, if you didn't get saved after Kevin and them sang, then you love the devil.
Something wrong with you, right?
But
something was wrong with you if you ain't get saved
listen,
after that.
But I remember when I just don't like when people mess people's songs up. When you do Perfect Peace, Keith Pringle and Thomas Whitfield should be smiling. Like, they should be, they're overjoyed because of what they sounded like. But I can't stand when people call themselves doing a tribute and you mutilate a song so bad.
Rewind, play.
That you
Rudolph
have
Stanfield should be smiling.
You have a gift that you could actually tear a song up. Not even so much do a song right, but you have a gift. You have something special about you that you can mutilate a song. I tell people all the time, if you're not going to do Andre Crouch, Milton Brunson, or Walter Hawkins songs right, please don't ask me to play it.
Don't touch it.
Same thing for me with Smallwood. If you ain't gonna do Smallwood stuff right, don't ask me to play.
Don't do it, because I still ain't mastered the art of fixing my face. People tell me all the time, I don't even get offended no more, because I just feel like, why would you do something to a diamond when the diamond is so valuable? Why would you throw mud, dirt in? And why would you do that? But I found this out. You don't know no better. And that's just what it is. So,
I was looking at.
Can we establish that you can't just throw a tribute concert together? You gotta have some pull and some relationship.
Justin,
you
just
can't,
like ask. No.
I'm gonna throw a Walker Hawkins tribute concert like I knew Bishop Walker. I knew of him. I didn't know him.
I just did it 3 years ago almost. I did the tribute to Andre, Edwin, and Walter, and I knew all three. But
you got the relationship, man, and you played for them. Right. You got the grounds. Like, if I debated, but I backed away. I was thinking about doing something for Mel, because this is his 10 years. I'm like, let's do something, let's get together. But then I realized, I was like, nah, because I ain't battling with people for no personality, love. He loved me. Nah, we supposed to celebrate the person. And you gotta have some pull. I had some pull.
You gotta have integrity. Like,
you got to.
Yeah, you gotta have integrity. You can't just be throwing something up there and just throwing anybody up there, throwing up somebody who can sing like that. Like, if you can't do that, then don't do it at all. You know what I mean? And so
I did something a year after Mel died. We took an offering and I sent it to Tanisha. And Tanisha, I split it between Tanisha and his mother. I didn't take nothing. Nobody took anything. I did something for Mel, and that was what on my heart to do. Like we was on the road, we was in the cars, we was in the hotel, we was traveling, like we were working. Like, I knew what he wanted. He wanted his music to stay alive. That's what his whole thing was. Now his son is definitely doing that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Melvin was doing the same thing. Thank you for the kind words you said about Kevin. That really means a lot.
Yeah,
he was, in my opinion, he was one of a kind.
Absolutely.
I think Kevin was a compilation of everything we loved. A little bit of Thomas Whitfield, a little bit of James Moore, Atlanta. He was just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I think he's one of the greatest artists I've ever had the opportunity to serve. He read a room like nobody's business.
I agree.
And you know what I love about Kevin? He didn't care. How can I say this without getting in trouble? Like, it wasn't about his music. Right? That was so dope. And don't get me wrong, if you're an artist and they pay you to sing your music, that's what you should do. But I mean, in that room, he did whatever the room called for. It like every single time. It just so to ask, like, what we singing, that was just a question that you just probably shouldn't ask. Because he's gonna do whatever the room called for, right? So that, like that last time we were together, it was just a perfect example of that. He cared more about what the room needed than he did about our own agenda.
He was definitely an atmosphere shifter. I'll give
all day long.
I think what I really loved about him was he was genuine. And Kevin did people's songs better than the people that was doing their original songs. He did them better than they did.
He really did.
He can't. Never mind.
Yeah, don't.
Just add
Justin
in there,
Justin,
real
don't.
quick. I think it's a testament to his greatness, and I did not have the personal relationship, so I'm not going to even suggest that. But anybody ought to be able to do your own stuff.
Yes, sir.
That should be a no-brainer. But to the point Kevin was just saying, when you are excellent enough to be able to excel at doing someone else's stuff, in the church environment that I grew up in, by no means on the same level as a Kevin Bacon, but for example, we were just a little choir from our little town, but everybody called us little institutional because we could do an institutional song as well as, if not better, than institutional. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. You're right.
So that's yeah, we
Avery
could do our little stuff too, but we were able to embrace and excel at doing other things, and I think that stands well. What are you cracking up at, Scott?
Avery has the best congested laugh in the world.
You said Kevin Bacon. You didn't say Kevin Lemons.
Oh, again, my apologies.
Terrence with an R.
They
They
never let it up.
No disrespect. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You could definitely read my facial expression. You know, I was crying over stuff.
But Sam,
I called Joel Smith Joel Osteen a couple weeks ago.
I don't know what your problem is. I have no idea what's wrong with you.
It was.
But
I don't even like Joel Osteen.
Kevin was the type of person that he commanded your attention without even saying a word because
he didn't have
that aura.
No words.
And what I loved about him was he wasn't trying to intimidate you.
No.
He wasn't trying to scare you. And I just want y'all girl choir directors to stop that. All you sissies and all y'all sitting up here trying to put intimidation on people so you can lead. If you got to lead people by intimidation, you're leading them nowhere. And then you're going to have to, if you got to force them to come, you got to force them to stay.
Yep.
So I want y'all sissies to stop doing that. All y'all girls with these long nails, stop it. All of y'all.
You're so funny, honey.
All right.
Yeah, and he had swag. I was watching some video the other day. Who was the song? Makes no difference. And he walked up to the mic like, hey, let's go. I said, man, this dude was he just gave it all. It's just we missed him.
Yeah, Kevin was I'll tell you what, that dude was he was something else. All right, y'all. Let's do this game real quick. Here we go. 5 things that will make you want to slap somebody. Who want to go first?
Oh Lord.
Be right back.
Only 5? Only 5?
You said only 5? Good God.
Only 5. Name 1. 5 things make you want to slap somebody. Tracy, go.
Oh no.
All right. Let me go to the violent side. Hey, Avery. 5 things that make you want to slap somebody. Name 1.
Number 1 is always going to be lying to me or lying on me.
I'll do that one.
Number 2 is going to always be trying to, in other words, being a hypocrite. There you go. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah. 3, thinking that you're smarter than me, you can outsmart me. You can't do that, brother. I'm sorry.
Brother or sister.
Number 4, you talk about my family. Yeah. Number 5, and it's not in no order, but I'm just saying, if you disrespect God in front of me, I might just have to kick your ass. I'm just saying.
All right.
In the name of the Lord.
What that spell?
It's spelled ass.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know.
And it's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. It's not a sweat.
He wants to kick your donkey.
I'll give you 5. You want my 5?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott. Let's go.
All right. So it's a lot of F's here. My family, my finances, my female, my freedom, and then the last one is my father, meaning God. You can't mess with none of them. Don't try to steal no money from me. Don't try to take no money out of my pocket. Don't lie on me like Avery said, because that says a whole lot.
Ooh,
if you lie on me, but if you lie to me, it's even worse. Because the moment that you lied to me, as far as I'm concerned, I hate to sound like the Italian folks, but you're dead to me. Because there's no reason to lie to me. Tell me the truth. And when it comes down to like, even I got a 6-1 with music. Don't get up there and mess up the music. If you don't know it, go home and learn it. If you can't learn it, don't do it.
Don't mess up my songs, brother. Don't mess up my songs.
My music, man. It's my music.
Tracy, I'm gonna come back to you, so I need you to get 5 ready. Yolanda, you want to answer this question?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't want to slap anybody, but I'm a little bothered. Bad photos. Everybody knows that. I mean, I'm a graphic designer. I'm a singer first, right? I'm a graphic designer. So bad photos, like you know, when you are high level anything, like you're an A-list artist, like A through C, you're like, you know, you're you've been around a little while, that kind of thing, and it don't matter the genre because I've seen it all, so it doesn't matter the genre. But you know, like with entertainment, like professional photos, please, like no selfies, no anything like that. People who don't like to invest in themselves, they don't like to be a part of their own story. They don't want to do the work. They want someone to. So I asked, like, tell me what you need. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I can't help. People who are unkind. Like you just cussed the lady out at McDonald's. It's just unnecessary. I don't know. I try not to have a lot of things that I have. Girls who don't wear shapewear. Yes, that bothers me. Because it's either the jiggle or I mean, you got to choose. You can't like be out here like this. I don't care about the job or
She
anything.
said it's the jiggle.
It's just a jiggle. I mean,
and stuff
you up on the altar and you just jiggling.
And sometimes stuff that should not be jiggling. Let's just tell the truth.
It should not be like put on the proper. I was raised by a country mom, okay? So put on the proper, please.
Have your loins girded.
Have your loins girded.
That's the Bible.
LL Cool J said, "You're jiggling, baby."
Go ahead, baby.
And people who don't greet people, actually, like you know, you just can I have, or can I? No, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. You know, just be kind. Those are my thoughts.
All right, Avery, Scott, Yolanda, Tanya, why don't you go ahead?
Even though Avery has been laughing with his congested laugh about me all night, but it's okay. I kind of agree with him. My savior, okay, I don't, you know, I get really offended, even though the Lord said don't fight. And I'm not a fighter, so I've never fought a day in my life, okay? But my man,
you'll cut somebody's ear off.
Possibly. See, that's not fighting. That's just, you know, just doing one deed. Anyways, my mommy, I'm an only child, and she was a single mom. I said my man already. Okay, let's make sure he's in there. My child and my money. And I'm with you, Yolanda. I don't like when people are not kind to people. And you just got like there's other ways that this could have been avoided, or you can just walk away. I feel sorry for the old person. I feel sorry for the child. I just feel sorry for people who just are getting yelled at or told off for not gonna say no reason, because sometimes it is a reason, but it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? So I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. So I wish I had the courage to go slap these people, but I just slapped them in my head or cut their ear off.
All right, brother Justin, you got 5? You still thinking?
Oh, I got a little more than 5, but I'm gonna limit it tonight.
We're gonna stay at 5.
We're gonna stay at 5. I'm gonna get away from the obvious ones, like the family and all that. That stuff is blatant. That's obvious. I'm gonna go and say the stuff that we want to say. Definitely, I got to put this because it is a big one. Lying. I will put that obvious one on there. Lying.
Oh, yeah.
But people who talk to me like I'm stupid, that, like I don't know nothing. Like somebody came to me and said, Do you know how to play every praise?
Cool.
Did
sorry.
you know I recorded every praise? Shut up.
I can play every praise.
Didn't break a sweat, but did you not know I recorded it? I played bass on it. Are you crazy? Get out my face.
Nice.
That's no more. Next, people who stink.
Avery is cracking up.
Why can you not brush your teeth? Why can you not wash your pits?
Yo,
Why does your butt stink? Why do you get up from the organ seat and not smell doodle? Why do you walk past me and I smell BO? Why? I just want to smack you. Why do I have to smell you in a negative way? You didn't want to shower and put no cologne on. You didn't want to do no soap. You didn't want to put a pine tree from the car around your neck. You didn't want to do nothing. You just stinking. And you know we at a church convention. Come on, put the clothes. Wash yourself.
You've experienced this personally. I see.
Oh, we all
I'm
have.
a smell. I ain't nothing worse than these musicians, and they be like, "Yo, what's good?" And all I smell is your underarms, and you hugging me like, "Yo, bro."
It
smells
like onions and booty cheeks up there, bro. It just
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
It smelled like who did it and died.
Yeah, let's see. I got two more. Pointless church services. Everybody getting smacked. The MC, the niggas on the organ, the ushers. Why are we here? This is everybody getting smacked.
Matter of fact,
who
put this service together? They get smacked.
The preachers.
We gonna have this on Zoom.
That's a hot mess.
Wasting my time. And last but not least, people who jack up songs, and it's bad. It's bad. People who don't. Yeah.
Every song shouldn't be a remix. Praise the Lord.
And let me clarify. People who will show up to rehearsal. Let's say for example, right? You get a song list, right? Here's a song. Here's the 3 songs we're doing for praise and worship. All right, cool. We're gonna do that. And the keyboard player sits down and he's playing a different chord than what's on the record, and we're like, "Yo, that's the wrong chord." This is where he gets smacked. He looks at me and says, well, "Yeah, I'm gonna play this one anyway." No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not gonna do that.
No, you're not.
You're absolutely not gonna do that. No, you're gonna get smacked. That's what you're gonna do. Okay. When people who refuse to learn and play it like the record, I just want to be different. No, play it like the record. Follow the blueprint. Like Kev said, the diamond, it's perfect.
They call it a flow, brother.
No, I call it a mess.
I call it a no.
Call it a no, right?
I call it a mess.
Every praise should not sound like "Don't Stop Believing." I'm sorry.
Listen.
Hello.
Guys asking me.
I'm just saying.
Do you know how to play
2 different songs?
We was at GMWA. I looked at that fool like, and I normally don't do stuff like that. I said, "Did you know I played bass on it?" That kid was stuck. Oh, okay. My fault.
Oh my Lord.
Don't stop believing.
Well, Tracy, what's yours? Or Terrence.
Hold on.
Terrence got a lot of shoot.
No,
I
I
got a lot of faux pas.
Yeah, well, anyway, I actually only got 4. Is because everybody else has already mentioned anything else I could mention, so I'm just not going to. I just agree with a lot of the points that was already made. But one is people that really try to go out of their way to impress me with their resume.
Oh my God.
I'll say this as short as
my bunions.
Kevin, this is a gentleman that you know. He's a bassist from this area. And he had been given a particular assignment, and I was working with him on this assignment because the main producer put us together. And first time meeting me, he comes to me and he gives me this long resume about who he had played for, who he had MD'd for, and everything like that. And then he turned in like a condescending way, "So what have you done?" That's literally how
You don't want to ask that question.
And I just told him as simple as this. I said, "Google me."
That's how you do it.
So again, anybody that really knows me knows that I am not the person that tries to come off trying to, walk into a room like I am the beginning and ending of anything. I'll just walk in the room. "Hey, how you doing? Let's do what we gotta do." So when you go out of your way to do that, that's one. Number 2, if you decide you need to talk about me, get your facts straight.
Tell him, T. Tell him.
You
Let
can
him know,
talk.
bro.
I
I
can't
agree.
stop you from talking, but if you're gonna talk the truth. Don't talk a lie. Don't talk what you think you heard. Tell
Can't
what
hear
you know.
nobody.
Authenticity. I don't think I need to explain that any more than that.
Yes, sir.
Authenticity is authenticity. And one thing, and I think others have said this in a different way, but I don't take well to people trying to be confrontational with me because you're trying to do it in a public way, like you're somehow trying to embarrass me or trying to take me down a peg. If you know me, you know that's really not a good idea. Because when I decide I'm coming for you, I'm coming hard and I'm not stopping until you're down.
And you got a crew neck behind you, bro. So don't even worry about that, dog.
Hey Terrence, but this is my problem. I
Reroll
gotta
D.
say it now. I gotta say it now because you just said that.
Oh God.
I don't really know why people seem to think that because you haven't done something means that you won't do. I don't understand this, and I think I just went through something recently. I didn't go through it. I listened to other people go through it. And the reality is that what I do know is that low lives will never look at somebody that has a highlight and agree with them. And I'm just going to say this. I have 5. Go ahead, Tracy. Go ahead.
People that have no respect for people with disabilities.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That
That's foul.
really bothers me.
That's foul.
People that have no respect for the elderly. That people that mistreat children. That bothers me.
Absolutely.
People that are very manipulative in any form or sense, that bothers me. That is a form of witchcraft.
Yes, it is.
You are a problem. I think that's probably about it. I only have 4, so
You do know those first 3 that you named, if they were to ever go to jail, they would kill you in jail for those 3 things.
Yep.
I'm just saying. If you do anything bad to a senior citizen or a child or even
Your life
a
is over.
female, you are a target.
You're done. Yeah.
Well, I have 5. One is a manipulator. 2 is an agitator. Number 3 is a frustrator. Number 4, I use my own word there. Number 4 is a liar, and then number 5 is a manipulator. Let me also say what I feel about all of those things. I just want to put this out there. Some of your greatest enemies are people that are close to you that have these same characteristics, and some of them have your last name. Some of them have your last name. Some of them, and I want to say this: just because you have my last name doesn't mean you're my family.
all right.
That part.
What I know is you're my relative, but you're not my family. So,
Preach, preacher.
if anybody has a problem with it, because I said it, now you can talk to me because ain't nobody else talking. But I think one of the biggest things about this is that I want people to understand that just because you're a fool doesn't mean I have to be one. Just because you're broken doesn't mean I have to be broken. Just because you're angry doesn't mean I have to be angry. And so all of these things play into this particular category. And because this is my live and because I'm the one running it, I would say this. People will often attempt to try to deframe or deform or damage your character based on the notion. If you're jealous, just say you're jealous so you could get free. Just say it. If you don't like me because I'm using the same gifts that God gave you, but you didn't do anything with what He gave you, that's your problem. That's your problem. You can't be mad at me for using what I have, and you had the same ability, but you watching me use mine, but you want to try to degrade my character. I don't think that's cool. So that's a form of manipulation, and as you said, isolation, Justin. All of that is a part of that, and I just really don't like it. Y'all real quiet right now, but I just
we
don't
letting you
like
talk,
it
brother. Go
We
ahead.
listening.
We
when
listening.
when people insist on trying to bully you over the internet. That wears me out. That wears me out. That wears me out. We have to understand that in order for you to be recognized as somebody who's respectable, you have to be respectable.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do disrespectful stuff, it's like you can't come for my mother and think I ain't coming back for you.
I know that's right.
You can't do it. I don't care who you are. You can't come for my mother. You can't come for my sister and think I'm not coming back for you. And I don't know what it is, but like I said, the question was, you haven't seen me do it in so long that you think I can. But I want to say this to you. There's some of us that God has saved you from me. He didn't save
That's
me
good.
from you. He saved you from me.
That's
But
good.
I want you to know something. When I come at you for what you've done, I'm not just coming because I'm angry. I'm bringing all that frustrated me with me.
Because it just wasn't one thing.
As it just wasn't one
Right.
thing. It was a mound of things. It
Yeah, I
was
was
a
waiting
bunch of stuff.
A plethora of
Right.
things.
I just wanted to be sure, and it's very systematic. I found this out that when you educate people before you beat the hell out of them, they're so busy trying to get what you said. By that time, you done destroyed their larynx already.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Not the larynx,
So,
though.
so
Ouch.
we have to understand that you no see, because the other thing, and I'm glad you said that, Scott. What people don't understand, you don't give your position away. You don't tell nobody what you know how to do. You don't say that. But just know,
Right.
I can hit you from places that nobody has ever hit you from before.
That part.
I can do things to you that nobody has ever told you that they're going to do. And one thing that somebody said to me was, never tell somebody what you're getting ready to do, so when you get ready to do it, nobody won't get in your way.
Word. That's true.
Just be careful. And you don't even show them that you're mad. Don't show them that you're angry. Just be understood.
Don't show your cards.
So don't show that. Don't show that. As a matter of fact, use the statute of limitations. Make them believe you forgot because it was so long. But what they don't understand, the whole time you just stacking your cards. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But also the Bible talks about the tongue inviting a beating.
Bro, that's exactly how I move, bro. I'm not gonna move unless I have like facts, so that way I don't even give you an excuse to try to make up a lie and stuff. Nope, because I see everything, and then when I bring everything to you, you ain't gonna have nothing to say. Then I can just bust you in your mouth.
And as I talked about that, look who just showed up.
Brother man, CJ, what's up, bro?
Hey man, I'm moving around in these streets, so I'm sorry I ain't how I need to be, but I'm trying to get there.
You right on time, brother.
But hold up, when we start talking about knocking people out, that's the kind of conversation I like.
That's that Patterson language, bro.
Yeah, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me just throw this in there real quick, because I'm you know what? Never mind.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Terrence, Papa Kitchens is on, and he may or may not remember this. I love you. There was a situation that happened many, many, many years ago. Many years ago, and it was a big deal outside of Bible Way when somebody tried to run down. Let me tell y'all what I had in my hand, Kevin, because I don't think he was there. Terrence was there. He may or may not remember. It was about let's say maybe like an inch or two thick in width. and all it had inside was wires, like inch, like maybe inch wires. But somebody, Terrence, here's the thing: somebody did something, and and I had this. It was called a slapstick. That's what it was called. It was called a slapstick. The police used to use it back in the day.
Okay.
Moody
And
told
it
me
was an
about that.
it was an interfaith rehearsal, and it was a big fight that I had outside that night. And you took this thing out of my hand because I was about to break somebody all the way down. Now you may not remember it.
I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. It's okay. Here's the thing. It's okay because we're talking about 30 years ago, Terrence.
Oh God.
Right?
30 years ago.
We're talking about 30 years ago from when you probably have seen me in that kind of light, right? And here we are in 2024, but I'm from Patterson, and some people probably think I'm not from Patterson.
Reading between the lines, brother.
Am I?
I think I'm
Hold
picking up on the general gist, but I'm still not really remembering the specifics.
It's okay. It's okay because there are probably going to be some people who's on here who may come in and listen, and they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, Tom, you think we playing?
No,
We ain't
Yo,
playing.
I'm trying to tell you.
We ain't
When I
playing.
tell you, I
We
am
ain't
reading
playing.
all the way between the lines. I'm
We
like,
ain't playing. We ain't
Yeah.
playing.
So,
We ain't playing. We ain't playing.
all I'm saying is that I don't know
I'm
what
like
y'all was
you.
talking about because I just jumped on, but when I heard Avery ending his sentence, it just made me think. You know what? I've lived out of Patterson longer than I lived in Patterson.
True.
you know
So
what's
some
funny?
people could say, matter of fact, twice as long. Because I moved away from Patterson at 17. I'm 51, right? So I could almost do 3 or 4 times up in there. But the thing is that I learned a whole lot from Patterson about how to handle people and how to move. And
Yeah, we created weapons, bro.
I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, I'm a PhD, I'm a therapist, I'm all of those things, but I'm still from Patterson.
From Patterson, yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I forgot.
It means something. It does
That means
mean
a lot.
I'm still. If anybody think I'm not from Patterson, let me just be clear. I'm from Patterson. I'm from Patterson.
That holds a lot of weight, brother. I'm telling you, because people from here, they be like, "Oh, what part of Jersey you from?" I'll be like, "I'm from Patterson," and they immediately like,
Yeah, here's the first thing that people say to me, and I'm gonna say it to y'all. Here's the first thing that people, when I say I'm from Patterson, they say, "Oh yeah, you know how to fight, you know how to box." I'm like, absolutely,
"Yeah,
right? But here's the thing: my 2 youngest sons are not from Patterson, right? But they boxed because I put them in boxing gyms
Boston Jam, yeah."
because that's how I grew up. I didn't grow up in the boxing gym. I grew up from the streets of Hard Knocks. And here's what happened. Y'all don't, hey Kevin, Avery, Terrence, and everybody else. I'm saying this, but y'all don't know this story, and it may not even match what y'all was talking about before I came on. But let me just say this: when I was in the 3rd grade, I was bullied. Right? I was bullied. And I was bullied so bad until I would come home crying every day. One day I came home and my father said, enough is enough. If you come home crying one more day,
I'm gonna beat you.
we gonna have a problem.
Yep.
He said, I'm giving you the green light to do, take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, he opened the door for who Christopher Joe is today.
Mm.
My father told me, handle your business. I don't care if you get suspended. I don't care if anybody kicks you out of school. I just want to make sure that you defend yourself.
Yep.
And that's where we are. And that's who I am. And some people may feel like you're not from Patterson, but guess what? I am.
I want to say
I
this.
just happen to live in Georgia.
Yeah. Let me say this.
You inhabit Patterson, but that's another conversation.
We have to understand one thing. Justin is from New York. I live between Patterson and Brooklyn. Yolanda, you lived in Colorado and you moved to Charlotte. Avery, you from Patterson. You went to Charlotte. Tanya has never really. She's lived in Long
I
Beach.
grew up in LA.
And she okay.
She said LA.
Now let's be clear. Let's be clear. When you say you're from LA, I want it to be known. That's a broad statement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you from experience. I'm not gonna tell you from what I heard. I'm gonna tell you what I know.
Gang member.
Because you literally in Los Angeles, you had to represent somebody.
Did she grow up in Watts during the race riots?
No.
She wasn't even
She was
born
there
then.
during the riot. Not those riots. But she's from Long Beach. But I want to tell y'all something.
Ooh.
There's so many pockets in Los Angeles that you have to be careful.
But Long Beach, bro, that's
listen to me. No. Long Beach is bad. Compton is bad. But let me tell no. Long Beach and Compton is bad. But I want to tell you, there's this place called the Inland Empire. Right? Long Beach and all LA County is bad. But San Bernardino County ain't nothing.
San Bernardino, nothing to play with.
But let me explain.
The
San Bernardino wasn't even there. It wasn't even a thing. When I was living in Long Beach, it became a thing in the 90s.
It became a thing. But here's the thing: Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor at the time. He said anybody that got out of jail, they had to go 41 to 59 miles away from Los Angeles when they got out. They couldn't stay there. So where did all the convicts go? They went to the Inland Empire.
But to my defense, I was fighting my way through Long Beach. I was praying.
Fighting in the spirit.
Right. And so my whole point is
wrestle not against
and we're listening to Chris, and we heard what he said. There's a reason why we're saying this, but I really want to make this point. We're gonna get ready to go. I want to make this point that there are people who seem to believe that just because you're Christian, you can't fight.
Right.
And
right.
And we play the piano. And we play the piano.
Yeah. And we're musicians. Yeah. Yep.
And so we don't know what we're doing. I say this again. You have to understand that just because you haven't seen me do it doesn't mean I can't. It just means that you weren't around when it happened. But God saved you because you might not look at me the same way once you saw how I dealt with it. You understand what I'm saying? And so I want to say this again, that we have to get to a place where we understand and pay attention to the fact that there's some of us who raised in certain areas, go to certain churches, have certain beliefs, all this other stuff. I just don't understand why some of the people who claim to know God the most will be the first ones to cause the greatest hell. But that happens all the time. I think what we need to understand is that we need to be very careful of the fact of how we treat each other. And I want to say a whole bunch of stuff, but this tonight ain't that live, and I am gonna say something in the end, but we have to be very careful. Chris and I are we've kind of gone through some stuff similarly, I guess it's a word. And it you know how we voice it and how we talk about it. You know, you can't stop a person from expressing how they feel about the way they've been treated. You can't do that. There's no way. But what I will say is, it's one thing to speak it; it's another thing to back it up. At 51 years old, I don't feel that we're too old to fight. I feel that we're too old to be out here fighting. But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and that's all I'm saying. I don't need to say more. Than
See, I had it good though, bro, because I had it from a rough. Because they was like, when I actually beat him up, it's like, oh well, you supposed to be a preacher's kid, and you supposed to, nigga, that don't mean nothing. I just bust you.
But we don't. But we don't. But my whole point in that and what you just said is literally this. If you don't want to drown, don't try to water. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We got to get to that point. Yo, listen, Chris, I'm glad you came on. I don't know what happened to Terrence, but it is almost midnight. I mean, we are literally. Hey, Justin, guess what? We had two.
I apologize.
2 hours and 46 minutes, man. We're not at 3 hours. Look at that.
I
keep talking.
I was late. I had a long night. I'm sorry I missed
Chris, you good. Chris, you good.
I had a story to tell that definitely brought us to 3 hours, but I'm gonna leave it.
And I tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Justin. I need you to hold that for next week. I need you to hold it. Because the next show next week, I promise you, we're gonna talk about some real stuff. We're gonna talk about some real stuff. I just Yolanda's new here. Brenda's not on here tonight. That kind of, if Brent was on here, if Brent was on here, we would have never talked about it.
God, don't say it. Don't say it right now.
We would have been on here for 3 hours and 30 minutes.
I was just saying that. Avery.
Yeah, we would have been here a long time. Yolanda Morant, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I think your phone is muted.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be a part of the conversation.
We appreciate you.
We thank you. We appreciate you coming on. We try to bring new people on every now and again. And we appreciate you coming on, sharing with us.
Ooh, they sure needed you last week, though. Ooh, Jesus.
Oh Lord, they sure did. They was drowning bad.
Who was they?
It was rough.
The women.
It was rough.
I wasn't on last week.
Yeah, I missed
that. I missed last week. I was in the funeral
I'm not
rehearsal.
claiming it. I don't think that.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I wasn't there.
But we thank you, Yolanda. Tracy, thank you once again for being here. I think you enjoyed doing this. I think you really enjoyed it. I think you have a good time. Tanya, good seeing you.
We can't do that. Bro.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you, Tanya, for coming on
next
and
week.
being with us. And being with us and rocking with us. Justin, always good to have you. Scott, we family. We'll talk more later. I ain't talking about that mess more tonight.
Yes, sir.
Terrence, good to see you, brother.
Good to be seen and not viewed.
Always good to see the big bishop.
You see, I'm
hey, brother Chris, man.
Wait a minute. Hey, Cav, you know what we need to do?
Your whole mouth is in the video.
You know what we need to do? We need to have a Avery. You know what we need to do? Just up here.
You right there.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, there you go. Listen, you know what we need to do? We need to have a brother sister Hayes and great appreciation for Terrence. Because let me just say this, T, as we about to leave, because we haven't even had the conversation about how much Terrence has meant to all of us.
That's a fact, bro.
For sure. For sure. Chris, I
Scott,
don't know if you
you
able
too,
to come up.
Scott. Right, you
I don't
too.
know if you're able to come
I'm
up
sorry.
June 9th.
I missed mentioning Scott, but
No big
it's
deal.
all love,
No
right?
biggie. But June 9th, he actually is being honored by Mount Olive, where he's been
June
speaking out for
9th.
25 years.
Oh man, that's in like That's next
I'll
week.
be
I can't
down.
make.
I can't come.
But you know
Sucks.
what? Here's the thing. I've never been to Mount Olive one day in my life. So high five to them.
Chris, that
But
ain't true.
I do
Chris,
know.
that ain't true. Chris, that ain't true. That ain't true, Chris.
You did go there. That's right.
When?
Yo, we did Terrence's
Interfaith had a
appreciation
reunion
thing
Terrence is
that
in
day
too.
for
yeah.
Terrence. Yeah, that was Mount Olive.
Oh,
That was
really?
Mount
Oh,
Olive.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, you're right then. I didn't know.
That's
I
when
didn't remember.
I ain't going first.
Oh, never mind.
No,
That was so long ago.
I need about 10 minutes of a mic because I got a bunch of stories about
Yeah,
Yo,
that's what
I
I'm
tell y'all
saying.
what.
Hey, listen. Wait
Let's
a
do
minute.
that.
I think that we need to haze Terrence, but we need to love him because he was our father in a lot of music. And then Avery,
He was.
it's a whole
He
nother
was.
relationship with you.
Yeah.
Because the relationship that he had with Elder Tony Moses was second to none. Right?
That's true.
There are people right now. Hold on, let me go outside real quick
Chris,
and
we get
cut
ready to
these
go. Hurry
lights
up, man.
on.
Come on, come on. We got to go.
Hold
Come
up.
on.
I just want to say this real quick because I think it deserves its place, right?
Hmm.
We could look at Donald Lawrence and we could look at Kevin Bonds. We could look at so many people, the Hawkins. The list goes on and on and on when you look at the East Coast and West Coast and whatever. Tony Moses and Terrence Kitchens,
For sure.
That's a fact, bro.
they have done so much for the Northeast that will never be spoken of unless we
Yep.
speak about it.
Like Batman and Robin, bro.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. No,
Legit.
wait a minute, Avery. Cause you got it from another place, and it deserves to be heard from your place. I'm
Yeah.
just saying we need to put it in that place. But here's the only thing I want to drop personally. Terrence is one of the few people, and I'm saying this to you, Terrence, because I love you and you know it's true. What I'm saying, that would sit down and actually not just show you the chords that he's playing, but explain to you why he used it there. And we all were young. I was much younger,
That's true.
but he was young too.
That's
But he
true.
had love. And here's my last point. Terrence wasn't making money at Bible Way. Maybe I'm lying. You could correct it the next time we talk, Terrence.
No, you're not lying.
But here's my true point. When Terrence left, he created an opportunity. When I started playing that Bible Way, I made money because of Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Terrence helped me. And from me playing at Bethel / Bible Way as a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, I'm 51 years old and I'm still making money. I've never not made money in 1 month as a musician. Never in my entire life. Never.
Mm.
In my entire life from 14, 15 years old to 51
Good God.
because of what Terrence did for me. I'm standing outside. Y'all can't see it. I'm standing outside my house. I have 3 vehicles. Well, y'all can't see it. It's too dark. I have 3 vehicles. I have a BMW, an Audi, and a Tahoe sitting in my driveway right now. And all of those was paid for as a musician. My house. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. I ain't bragging. I'm just talking about what I'm just saying what I'm saying, Terrence, because I want you to hear me. My house is worth, it ain't worth the money up north. My house is worth about $310,000, right? I owe $60,000 to pay it off.
Wow. That's
And
deep.
you know what? It's all money that I made as a musician. And if Terrence didn't take time to sit with me, and Clifton Webb too,
Yeah, he's another one.
right? Clifton Webb, I ain't hating. But if we didn't have those starts, Avery, Kevin, bruh, what I'm able to walk around, and my wife is in Patterson right now, I couldn't do that.
She's still here?
Yeah, she's still there.
Oh.
She's there, and she's gonna still be there, right? Because because
the next thing I know it's
yeah, exactly,
next
right.
thing.
So she's still there, and so what I'm saying is all of this is musician money.
Yeah.
And Terrence, Mount Olive could give you whatever, but I don't know Mount Olive like that. I know Terrence and what he did to me. And Kevin, you know it. Avery, you know it. Scott, you know it.
I wouldn't be able
I
to
know
write songs
I
if it
feel like
wasn't
I'm
for Terrence, man.
commandeering the conversation, and I'm not trying to, but I know what I'm saying is right. Just we all know, man, and I think, Kez, yo, we need to have a haze. We need to have a haze for Terrence, yo.
What I'm gonna
You
do?
know what I'm saying? We need to
we have
have
a
a haze
roast.
for him.
A huge roast.
And here's what
So
else
now
we
you trying
need.
to call me fat, huh?
Here's what else. Here's what else
I
we.
heard that. I think I heard that.
Yo, here's what else we need. Kaz, we need to put his Cash App up next week or whenever you feel like it's appropriate, because I want to start.
Well, I tell you
Because I
what,
can't pay him for what he gave me, but
right.
I could definitely say, here's less than 0% of what you helped me make. Because that's all I got to give you.
I think what we're gonna do, I think we'll do it next week. Terrence, you got to make sure you come on so we can do
0%.
it. I think what also
0.1%. But
what we also need to do is make it to where we're gonna have some other people go on. But I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna be people who feel that they should. I'll put the announcement up. I'll do all of that. Tanya, I think you need to figure out a way to do that.
Terrence, I love you,
we'll
brother.
put it up,
I mean,
and we'll go
I
ahead.
love you.
We'll go ahead and do it.
Right back at you, sir.
I'll say this publicly. We got to get out of here. I'll say this publicly. Terrence is the reason why a lot of people ain't in jail right now.
That's a fact, bro.
Listen.
So I'm not leaving that. We ain't got time to go through the whole thing. But I'm gonna say
Let's do it. Let's do it next week.
Terrence is the reason why a lot of people are not in jail right now.
Yep.
And what used to make me laugh was
including me.
Terrence would sit up there and literally be late to the appointment, but he was always on time with the paperwork. I never understood it. Never got it.
Bro.
But yo, we got to go. We got to go.
Terrence, you gonna get the haze next week, but you gonna get the love too. We got stories
I gotta get
about Terrence Kitchen.
Just give me 10 minutes, bro.
Avery, you got two.
Oh, Avery, you need to go. You need to go first and last, Avery. You need
2 minutes.
Hey, Yolanda.
You need to be the Alpha and the Omega.
Hold on, Yolanda. Tanya said she got one story. Yolanda and Tanya. Tracy, her iPad died, but there was three things about Terrence, and we leaving on this note. We're gonna laugh at this. There's three things about Terrence that used to happen. He was always eating. He was always late. And he was never wrong.
He never wrong.
Anything about this man that you asked him, if he did not have to answer, it was only because he did not hear you ask the question.
And he had the community house.
We gotta go, man. We gotta go.
Terrence's name was MacGyver.
And he was the first person we ever knew in Patterson who had a keyboard.
Terrence had
The
red
first
tape.
person. The first
The
person.
first person.
He's right. So Yolanda, you got to watch next week. If you can't come on, you got to watch next
I'll
week.
just introduce you. Said I was never wrong.
Absolutely,
I
sure.
want to ask a question. How many times was I really, really wrong?
I got one.
Hardly ever.
I can't
That's all I'm
tell
saying.
you. I can't tell you.
You can't say one. You ain't known me long enough to say that.
No, she knows one. She knows
You
one.
got one. And I
knows
I wasn't wrong. It was just anyway.
Yeah, we used to call Terrence MacGyver because he had every chord, every
Yeah.
Hey,
every
Terrence,
tape.
Terrence,
He could fix whatever. He made it work.
Captain Smooth is laughing at you right now.
Listen, and you know the funny thing is because I guess everybody knows I'm actually moving, so the house being up is actually pretty much almost sold at this point.
Hallelujah.
Point being, you live in one, and I've lived in the same house since I was since I was 3 years old. I'm 61, so that's a lot of living in one place.
That's a lot of memories, right, Kev?
Point that every time I go in a corner or a closet, I keep pulling out stuff, and it's just like, okay, those wires I still have some of those same
We
wires.
know since the
still sitting in a
80s.
closet someplace. That's just the truth. They're gone now, but anyway.
Hey, Justin, real quick, we got to get out of here, man. We had 3 hours. I didn't want to do that. We had 3 hours. I bought a Guild 5-string bass from a place called Musically Yours in Paramus, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it and got that's one of them big coffins. It looked like I had a body in there.
Yeah.
Went over, took it to his house. And I'm looking at the bass and I'm kind of just looking at it like, oh my God, I just bought my first 5-string. Like, oh man, this is so cool. And I kid you not, about 10 minutes later, he comes over and he got a 1/4 inch with these wires hooked up. And I was like, what is that? Plug the bass in. Plug the bass in. My bass was ringing through the whole living room. The whole living room. And this man took his Pepsi soda and walked in his bedroom, and I didn't see Terrence for 9 hours after that.
Literally,
I did not see
I'll just leave Kevin in the house. I'm like, all right, good night.
Hey, we got to do this next week because Chris, we
Yo, we got stories for
Listen,
days.
we're gonna do this next week. I'm telling y'all, we gotta do it next week. But I appreciate everybody. Tonight we had 3 hours. We had 3 or 1. Justin, the show for kept talking. Here we go. So next week, Justin, you gotta come on. Joel is coming back. I'm going to fire Steve Hackett.
Yeah, because
Steve actually played for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris today.
Oh, very nice.
That's why he was dressed up. Okay.
That's why. Yeah, that's why he's not here. He had a
whole with the lamest excuses. I gotta go pray.
Yeah,
I gotta go get ready for the first lady of the United States.
But I want to say to everybody, thank y'all so much. Chris, I know you just jumped on. We're gonna get ready to go. But next week, tell everybody in Patterson, Terrence is the focus next week.
Terrence
is the focus next week.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
We're gonna bring people on here, and they're gonna get a chance to talk. But I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna be from a certain choir.
Cash app and make sure we post his cash app.
I think my dad and Bishop Pettiford is gonna be proud next week.
I know it.
I'm getting older.
We good.
I'm more sensitive than I used to be now. Y'all get
right.
Be kind
it's
to
all good. It's all good.
Hey man,
we only gonna speak the truth. We only gonna speak the truth. That's why it's funny. We gotta go.
Terrence,
we gotta go.
Terrence, we got the stories. We got it.
Yeah. Listen, thank y'all. We gotta get out of here. Yolanda, thank you again. Scott, everybody, thank y'all. We're gonna end the live stream. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on.
Who's giving us our final word tonight?
Nobody.